It's Orioles baseball on Masson on a Sunday afternoon at Camden Yards. The Orioles getting set to take on the Blue Jays, the finale of this three-game weekend series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. Leading up to the All-Star break, the Orioles swept the four-game series in Texas in large part because of the balance up and down the lineup, and the bats were booming. But in the first two games in this series, the runs have been tough to come by. Only 2 runs in each of the first 2 games in this series, and unfortunately, it's a return to more of the same. The Orioles are 13th out of the 14 teams in the American League in runs per game, just 3.64 on the season. And when you look at the runs leaders in the American League, 3 of the top 5 are in the division. And last night, 2 runs, so the Orioles now 2-47 when scoring 3 runs or less. And Jim Palmer, when you look at this series, the pitching certainly pitched well enough overall to win the games, but because of the lack of run support, the Blue Jays got both.
Yeah, and part of that graphic, 2-47, they have now played 90 games and 49 times have scored 3 runs or less. So obviously offensively challenged. And again, the equation, the formula is pretty good. You need to get good pitching. They got them in the last 2 games of Texas. They also hit, 8 home runs in those 4 games. So they know what they have to do. Again, when you lose Roberts, when you lose PA for the first 3 months, now with Wieters out, Luke Scott, hopefully they'll be back, in the next couple of weeks. All of a sudden your offense is going to struggle, so you really have to be perfect. But it's very difficult for a young pitching staff that has an ERA, the starters are well over 5 runs a game, to just win the close ball games.
And you mentioned the home runs in the series in Texas, 8 home runs total over the 4 games. The home run has been lacking in this series, and in large part, that's why the Blue Jays have won.
Well, you're right, and of course, here are the Orioles, and again, losing Brian Roberts. He doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but he hit 18 last year. They hoped that Wieters would hit more. You had Wigginton hitting 13 of his 14 home runs in the first 2 months. Markakis, as of late, has been driving the ball, but only 6 home runs. So you're getting out homered. And the one thing about it is that the Orioles now, because the defense, they're down at the bottom of the defensive pack, 13th out of 14 teams. So again, we always talk about playing in concert. They did it in Texas. They won 4 in a row. Hopefully they'll be able to do that again this afternoon, because Brian Mattis needs a win, and he hadn't won this year. He's pitched well enough to win a lot of games, but again, run support's really hurt him.
And the series in Texas, 8 home runs in the series hit by 8 different players, and when you get that kind of balance, it really does keep the pressure on the opposing pitcher.
Well, yeah, the interesting thing to me is, Wigginton, 7 and 6 home runs in April and in May, and then in June, Adam Jones hits 8 home runs, but they've never really gotten all the guys hot at one time. So hopefully that will happen over the last 2 months, and hopefully, and again, my wish for this year is that they play better in August, September. Certainly haven't played up to their capabilities or what they want to, but hopefully that'll change over the last 2 months.
So today it's the finale of the 3-game series. It is hot at Camden Yards, but a beautiful day for baseball. Jays and Orioles lineups and first pitch are coming up. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. And it is another warm day at Oriole Park at Camden Yards, the finale of this 3-game series. Birds trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Time now for the Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Blue Jays. Fred Lewis will lead off. He's in left field. Yunel Escobar and Jose Bautista. Vernon Wells bats cleanup. Adam Lind, the DH, a 10-game hitting streak, a .308 average during that streak. Aaron Hill at second. Lyle Overbay at first. John Buck will catch, and Edwin Encarnacion will play third in that night.
And let's take a look at our PNC scouting report brought to you by PNC for the achiever in all of us. So, well, Yard travails 0-5, even though he's pitched well enough to win against the East. Great numbers. Toronto in the American League East, and then as good as the and many home runs that the Blue Jays can hit, only 7-15 against left-handed starters. So we'll see if Brian Mattis, who's only given up 2 home runs against left-handed hitters all year long, can take advantage of that.
And Fred Lewis last night on the first pitch of the game hit one out. Takes a strike here to get it going as Mattis comes back at him and swung on and fouled back. The home run by Lewis last night. 1 pitch in and the Jays had the lead.
Yeah, he's had a real good series. Just a fastball in the middle of the plate. One of the few mistakes that Jeremy Guthrie made all night long. And then, of course, the other night against Brad Burson, double to start the game, would score the first run.
There's a ball hit through the middle for a base hit. A defensive swing, and he got a lot of the barrel on it. So there's a leadoff single for Fred Lewis.
Take a look at the Oriole defense behind Brian Mattis, P.A. Jones, and Markakis. That's the outfield. Tejada will be the DH, but Josh Bell will come in and play third as Turris. Moore will play second base, Wigginton over first base, and then Jake Fox, hitting star on the last road trip, will do the catching as Craig Tatum will get the afternoon off, at least initially.
Well, the versatility of Jake Fox as Mattis goes to the stretch, and Escobar plays down a bunt. It's a beauty. Fox has to hurry and gets it there in time. So Cito Gaston playing for a first-inning run on the sacrifice, and that is news because they have the fewest sacrifice bunts of any team in the American League.
Well, he did this on Friday night and actually bunted for a base hit after the Lewis double, and Cito said the next day, he said, well, it's unusual because we don't usually do that. Now, Escobar does come over from the National League in the recent trade, Alex Gonzalez going over to the Braves. And he said, that's not what we do. But on that particular night, what he did on Friday, he bunted for a base hit. There, it's a sacrifice. You give Brian Madison out, and that's a huge out as far as I'm concerned, especially in a team that can hit a lot of home runs.
And here's the leading home run hitter in the American League. And last night, his 2-run shot won the game.
I remember what Tommy Lasorda used to say, home run hitters drive Cadillac. I came in a cab today. So I'm coming in the front of the ballpark. No limo, no town car, just a cab.
Just get me to the ballpark. Seeing the ball well. 0-1 pitch, there's the strike.
Boy, he was talking about it yesterday, Jimmy. He was just saying that when we saw him, he had a fastball to hit, 25th home run. That leads the American League. I mean, he's right up there with walks and extra base hits. And he said when they traded Rios and Roland last year, he got to play regularly and took advantage of it.
Just inside, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, the one thing that Brian Mattis, when he's on his game, that was not the case against Texas, where he gave up a 3-run home run to Vladimir Guerrero. He can pitch inside as well as any young left-hander I've seen.
Keeping an eye on Lewis at second base. Breaking ball low. Nice block by Jake Fox. Count evens 2-2 on Bautista with Vernon Wells on deck and Lewis at second base. Jose Bautista, 29 years old, and he has found a home in Toronto. He has settled in as their everyday right fielder and right there in the middle of the lineup in that number 3 spot, which is the featured spot, along with the cleanup spot in the batting orders. Mattis deals 2-2. Defensive swing towards first base. That'll stay fair. Wigginton has an easy play. 2 men down as Lewis moves to third base. So he fooled him on the off-speed pitch.
Yep, and they all know that Bautista Jose can hit the fastball with the best of them. You hang a breaking ball, but that's your good changeup. That's one of Brian Mattis's arsenal. When he's on his game, and he will throw it at any count. One thing, you don't find too many young pitchers, and there are the numbers. Again, not horrible earned run average. It's almost, in fact, it's lower than it is on the road, where he's won 3, there's 7 decisions. But again, for a young left-hander, he can mix his pitches up as well as anybody.
The 2 down, the runner at third. Here's Vernon Wells, the cleanup hitter. As he hit each game of the series. Breaking ball misses down and in, 1-0. Vernon Wells back to his usual production. Here's Fred Lewis at third. Leadoff single, sacrificed to second. Moved up on the ground out by Bautista. Mattis deals high with a fastball, 2-0. In the first 2 games in this series, the Blue Jays had pitchers on the mound who had a hard time winning on the road, and it's kind of a strange contrast here today where the Orioles pitcher Mattis doesn't have a win at home. Usually teams are comfortable at home. I mean, obviously there's a lot of circumstances, but it is a little strange this deep in the season. Still looking for his first win.
Well, again, that's reflective of your defense. How many runs do you score for your pitcher? And when you talk about the things you can control, he's done a pretty good job of pitching well on most occasions. There's only 4 games where he's given up more than 4 runs.
His last win at home was September the 5th of last year. There are the numbers Jim referred to his last start in Texas. That was a week ago Friday.
And that was the home run by Guerrero. Second 3-run home run he's hit off.
3-1, curveball for a strike, came down in the outside corner.
Now you got a lefty Lynn on a deck. You get lefties out well. So in a fastball count, and again what he does so well, doesn't have to throw a fastball.
Here's the 3-2 to Wells. He got him with a changeup. So Wells got ahead 3-0, and Mattis comes back to get him. Leadoff single, man left. Jays don't score. Bottom of the first coming. Here come the O's. Starting lineups for the Birds. Felix PA in left field. Miguel Tejada will DH today. Good numbers against today's starter, Sean Marker. Markakis, Wigginton, and Jones with Fox batting 6th. Moore at second base, Bell at third, as Torres at shortstop.
And our PNC scouting report, happy day. 5-1, 298 in the daytime. Dominates lefties, 177. And then a Tommy John type of guy. That's not his name. Sean Markham out of Southwest Missouri College. But again, the Tommy John at the end of 2008 came back, rehabbed it last year. And this year, even though he's coming off the DL, he's been relatively healthy.
And Felix PA takes a strike leading off. PA a late addition to the lineup. Hit in the last 2 games, 3 for 7 in that span. Markham works quickly, and there's a strike, and it's 0-2 on PA. Last night, on a bunt attempt, Corey Patterson aggravated a heel injury as he came down and hit the bag. He was in the original lineup against Scratch.
Yeah, that's early in the ball game.
Meantime, Felix Pie gets in the one to right field. Back is Bautista. He has a play, and he has it for the out. One away in the Oriole first inning.
He's played pretty good right field. He's not just a home run hitter when we talk about Bautista. Pie, of course, he's my version of a 25-year-old guy that has a chance to be a Carl Crawford type of guy. I don't think he's going to steal as many bases unless he really works on his base running, and we saw that in the spring before he got hurt. But, you know, a guy that's going to hit for average and power if he can swing the bat like he did the last 2 months of the year and in spring training. And you don't have to pay him $15, $17 million a year, at least at this point in his career.
Here's Miguel Tejada, who will DH today. And he takes it down and in, check swing. He said he checked in time.
Yeah, a lot of movement from Sean Markham. He will throw a changeup. He's got a curveball, slider. The reason he gets lefties out so well is that changeup any count.
Hard hit ball, base hit in the left field. Miguel Tejada's got a 7-game hitting streak as he picks up the one-out single.
Take a look at the defense behind Sean Markham, who will throw a lot of strikes. Lewis, Wells, and Bautista. Encarnacion at third. Escobar comes over from the Braves. Hill at second, the home run guy. Overbay who pick it over first. And then John Buck, you know, nice acquisition for the Blue Jays. Made the All-Star team, so he'll be doing the catching.
Here's Nick Markakis. 1 out of 8 in the series. Batting average at .304. Leads the Orioles with 104 base hits. That base hit by Tejada was number 99. So Miguel trying to keep up with Nick Markakis as Markham goes to a stretch position for the first time. And Markakis takes a strike. John Markham, 28 years old, and he is from Excelsior Springs, Missouri. That just sounds like a great place to be from. Excelsior Springs.
Missouri's a nice Kansas City's there. We also have a Kansas City, Kansas,
yep,
right across the river.
The Show Me State. One of Markakis down and away. Markakis trying to keep it going here in the first. He remains tied for the American League lead in doubles with 29. He's got Tejada on at first and one down. It's a good race between Markakis, Longoria, and Josh Hamilton. There's a line drive to center field. That'll fall base hit. And the Orioles have back-to-back singles, 2 on with 1 down.
Yeah, I think the Orioles, we told you that glowing number 177, Markham against lefties, but part of it is the changeup. So you know he throws it. And that's what Nick serves into center field. So a terrific at bat. And again, preparation and anticipation of what a pitcher can do. At 88, he's probably not going to throw it by you, but he sits on the changeup, gets one, and it wasn't a bad changeup. He just hits it into center field.
Markham 7-4 on the year, and he has 10 games above 500 in his career. 2 on for Wigginton here in the first. Pretty impressive numbers for Markham, 31-21. And his career ERA is 3.84.
Yeah, we talked about the DL after the Tommy John. He actually had some scar tissue that he got a little bit irritated, which apparently is a normal occurrence from time to time. So they just kind of backed him off. Cito Gaston said that Brandon Morrow, who pitched last night, he's going to miss a start. You know, just trying to moderate the innings for their staff. We saw Romero, we saw Morrow. They were both outstanding. Brett Cecil, the local boy, really good young left-hander. So they got the makings of a pretty good staff.
Wigginton takes a strike at the knees, 1-1. You saw the note on Ty Wigginton. 13 games now without a home run. That covers 54 at-bats. And over a longer stretch, he has just 1 home run in the last 44 games. Tejada and Markakis take their leads. Markakis not being held, so he's getting a good lead off first base. Ball and a strike on Wigginton. Bouncer, third baseman Encarnacion has it. The second out there, but no relay throw to first. Markakis, outstanding job of getting in on Aaron Hill.
Yeah, Encarnacion has struggled a little bit at third, and again, the ball hit with a lot of topspin, so he just wants to make sure after he had one go underneath his glove that he catches it, and he's going to have to back up. Watch him stagger a little bit when he catches. There's your topspin. So again, he just flags it down and then just takes a little bit longer, and when you have a play that develops that slowly, there's no way that a good base runner, and that's what Nick Markakis is not going to have an opportunity to try to interfere with Aaron Hill, and that's exactly what he does. So now you have a chance to keep the inning alive.
The runners on the corners now. Tejada to third. Wigginton on at first for Jones. Adam 1 out of 7 in the series. Orioles with a chance to get a first inning lead. Curveball for a strike. 0-1. The Markakis with that hard slide at second base, and that's how you're taught. It's a part of the game that is so beneficial to winning.
Well, yeah, we've seen that. We see it early on last month in June. Scott Moore a couple of times broke up several plays. It's all about your primary and your secondary lead.
Line drive, base hit left field, and the Orioles grab the lead. Adam Jones comes through with 2 men down. Tejada scores. 1-0 O's.
I don't know if it's a changeup or a slider that stays up, but again, this is not a hard thrower. It ends up in the middle of the plate, and he just belts it. And again, just hit the bat head to the ball. You don't have to swing hard. When you have the kind of strength that Adam Jones has, and he gets the Orioles on top. Good to see.
Jones picks up his 40th RBI. Wigginton to second. Jones at first with 2 down. And here is Jake Fox, the 6th Oriole to bat here in the bottom of the first. Markham deals breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1. So Jake Fox, since joining the Orioles, 7 hits in the 12 games. But how about that road trip, Jim? The 10-game trip. He had 6 hits and 3 were home runs. One was a game winner.
Yep, Dustin Hippert in the 10th inning after Patterson tied it up in Texas with a grand slam. Well, he's a good fastball hitter, and you'll see if he gets any fastballs to hit. They know that. First pitch was a breaking ball. There's a little cutter down in the way. Of course, Jake's had off, about 6-7 days. So,
yeah, it's his first at-bat in the series. Falls behind, no balls and 2 strikes. Took an 0 for 4 last Sunday, so it's been a week. And he got him. Markham gets him on an off-speed pitch, so Fox goes down on strikes. Orioles get a run on 3 hits and strand 2. We'll head to the second. 1-0 O's.
And before that, the highest level he had caught was AAA for the Cubs organization. Lou Piniella and the Cubs transitioned him to an outfielder back in 2007, and he told me that physically getting behind the plate, it's like riding a bike. He's used to it. He remembers everything. But he said as far as getting to know the new pitching staff here, that's going to be the biggest challenge. He had a talk with Brian Mattis yesterday and said, just give me a couple of innings to get used to your rhythm, but I'll be right there with you, and you won't have to shake me off. The last 2 nights he spent out in the bullpen, really asking the relievers a lot of questions about how they would approach batters, and he said that's really helped him. So Jake Fox doing his homework here today, Jim.
All right, Amber, we'll see how it progresses. They were in sync without a doubt in the first inning. As Mattis came back to get Wells to strand a runner at third. Here's Adam Lynn. Serves it in the left field, and PA plays it on a hop. There's a leadoff single. So back-to-back innings, the Jays get a leadoff hit.
Yeah, just serves it to left. A ball that maybe's up a little bit. It's a ball that maybe if you play the off field a little bit. Of course, this is such a, and we've seen it over the course of, with all this hot weather, over the course of the last 2 days, the ball is really traveling. So maybe you play a little bit, a step deeper. But it looked like it might have been a ball that was catchable off the bat.
Here's Aaron Hill, the second baseman, takes a strike. So Adam Lind with that base hit now has an 11-game hitting streak, and he's on with a leadoff single.
Of course, the other part of that is you don't want to play a single into a double with nobody out. So you just figure that Mattis will make his pitches.
Ball one is outside, 1-1 on the count. Aaron Hill's got a 4-game hitting streak going. Very unusual year. He's been productive, 13 home runs, but he's batting .197.
And that got better. I mean, he got 3 hits on Friday night, 3 terrific swings. Cito Gaston, of course, a good hitter in his own right, former hitting instructor, and then he, of course, managed him to a couple of world championships. He said it's a lot of hitters, especially when they struggle. I mean, of course, coming off a year where he hit 36 home run, which is an aberrational year. Usually, when he's healthy, which he wasn't 2 years ago with a concussion, he's going to hit around 15 to 18 home runs. There's Dwayne Murphy, the hitting instructor. But they talked about just staying back and trusting your swing. But when you try to muscle up and get the body into it, boy, it's just hard to stay back. And try to find it. And then when you talk to all the people, whether it's Buck Martinez, who was with us, and longtime catcher, he said it's hard to visualize hitting 36 home runs again because that may not be what you're capable of doing.
And there's ball 4 down and in. So Mattis, after the Orioles got him a lead, allows a single, now a walk, and 2 on and none out.
Yeah, we told you about the Jays. They struggle against left-handers. Look at the batting average difference. The home runs come down dramatically. On base percentage goes down. Now, of course, they're one of in the top bottom 2 as far as on base percentage. They do it with slugging numbers, leading with home run, coming in with 139 home runs. So, and then I think the other part of it is that they're lefties, whether it's Overbay who's stepping to the plate or Lynn, the slugging numbers go down. The home run go down as they usually do when you match them up with left-handed pitchers.
Overbay has hits in 8 of his last 9. Lind at second, Hill at first, and none down. And Overbay fouls it back. Jim mentioned that Brian Mattis has allowed only 2 home runs to left-handed batters on the year, and both of those left-handed batters are Yankees. Curtis Granderson and Robinson Cano, and both were solo home runs. Those are the only 2 lefties who have hit a home run against Mattis.
And usually you don't let that bother you, except when you're not getting a lot of run support. Get 3.39, somewhere in that neighborhood. He and Guthrie down there at the bottom rungs of run support. There are the numbers that you're talking about, Jim. Average, not dominating lefties, but again, extra base hits, home runs allowed. He needs an out here.
Runners have their leads. And it's fouled back, so 1 and 2.
And we saw Jeremy Guthrie last night. He gave up the leadoff home run, and then in the 4th inning, a double and a soft single, 1st and 3rd, struck out Overbay. So at the proper time, at least for Jeremy, he was able to make the clutch pitch. And that's what Brian Mattis would like to do here.
Jeremy Guthrie, outstanding effort last night in a no decision, 6 2/3, just 1 run on the first pitch of the game on that home run. And this one sails inside. 2 and 2 on Lyle Overbay.
He's only hitting 190. Not only, he's still a very dangerous hitter, but he's hitting 190. As we mentioned last night, much better hitter, 267. Of his 10 home runs, only 2 against left-handers. So, again, if you're going to have some success, these are the guys you circle in the lineup. I need to make my pitches to them. Otherwise, it's going to be the kind of afternoon that I want.
2 and 2 on Overbay. And he got it. Good off-speed pitch, maybe a little breaking ball that Overbay swings through. There's strikeout number 2 and a big out in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, they listed as a changeup, and it looked like he just pulled the string. Not a lefty's will throw changeups, but it's down. It's out of the strike zone. Great deception. And then you go back to the needed it out in the 1st inning, struck out Vernon Wells on a good changeup. So, maybe that's going to be his best breaking ball, at least at this point in the game.
Here's John Buck, the catcher, the 8th hitter. He's got a 4-game hitting streak going. Did not play in the game last night. Breaking balls high, 1-0.
Well, first in home runs and second in RBIs, and look at that right there. Of his 13 home runs, he's hitting 404 of those 13 come against left-handers. Getting an idea why he made the All-Star team.
1-0 pitch is fouled off, 1-1 the count. Scott Moore out there at second base is really paying a lot of attention to Adam Lynn, trying to keep him as close as he can to. I see he's looking over towards the Oriole dugout to ask, well, where should I play now?
Well, I don't think Lynn's going to run. They don't run. They only attempted 41 steals all year long. They're not a running team. You still want to be in position. He'll get back to his position right there.
Hard hit ball, base hit down the line, past the dive of Josh Bell. Here's Adam Lynn coming around to score. PA's throw will go to third, and there's an RBI double for John Buck. So the Jays come right back, and we're tied at 1.
Well, the changeup, he strikes out Wells, he strikes out Overbay, and I think the changeup just stays up, and he's going to get out on his front foot. But again, look at him go out and get this ball. I mean, it's a good pitch, but he hooks it. And Bell playing off the line as he should be. No chance of catching that. And down into the corner for a RBI double.
And the third hit off Mattis gets a run in. Here's Encarnacion, the number 9 batter, with runners at second and third and 1 down. And foul back on the screen. Encarnacion 217 with 10 home runs. He was 1 out of 8 in the series. He's had a tough year. He was even sent back to AAA.
Where he hit 438 and it seemed like he hit a home run every at bat. He got him back up here in a hurry.
Well, he took them literally. They said, go down and refine your swing.
Find yourself. Las Vegas.
He found it.
Right. Hit the jackpot in Vegas.
Aaron Hill at third and John Buck at second. Nothing at 2 on Encarnacion. Pitch high, 1-2. Jim mentioned the run support for Brian Mattis. It's 3.39 per game the Orioles get him. That is the 4th worst. Jeremy Guthrie, the 3rd worst, 3.28. So pitching on back-to-back days. And he got him. Encarnacion down on strikes. Here's the 2nd out of the inning. And already strikeout number 3 for Mattis, 2 down.
Yeah, he really matches up well against this lineup because he can change speed so well. There's another changeup, against a dead red fastball hitter. Encarnacion, he's a big, powerful guy, high ball hitter. So he stays out of that power zone and gets another strikeout, and it's huge in a 1-1 game.
Here's Fred Lewis, who singled leading off the game. Good series, 5 out of 10.
This is a perfect example of when the Mets came in with Jose Reyes, who's been struggling with an injury and really had just an electrifying series, or Freddie Lewis or whatever. You realize how much the Orioles miss Brian Roberts. Such impact players when you can get leadoff hitters on and that can run.
It was blocked by Fox.
That are good defensive players. Lewis has been able to do that.
Well, Brian is expected to be with the Bay Sox tomorrow to continue his minor league rehab, and the goal is to get back as quickly as possible. He'd like it to be sooner than later. The Orioles want to make sure, Juan Samuel mentioned yesterday, this is spring training for Brian Roberts. He's got to get the at-bats. Here's the 2-0.
Yeah, he said, 15 more at-bats, and I think I'll be ready. And I think probably important things, because when he rushed through the end of spring training after having a herniated disc against Toronto, slid headfirst into second base and exacerbated that injury and hasn't played since. So the little things, the things that you expect from Brian, you'd like to hope that he'd be able to do those.
High and tight, that's ball 4. And actually it hit him. As Tim Welke says, that hit his hand, so regardless, he'll head down to first base. It's not a walk, it's a hit by pitch. The 5th batter Mattis has hit this year.
And 3-0, he's not trying to come up and in. On a hot, humid night, see, trying to get the head out of the way, shoulder up, trying to protect. Again, not able to get the hands out. Boy, all the guys that used to get hit a lot, Don Baylor, Frank Robinson, they kind of rolled into pitches. You protect your wrist and your hand. So Rick Granitz, I'm sure he maybe has a little bit of advice, other than the fact that, hey, make a good pitch, get an out here. You know, relatively inexperienced hitter come to the plate, and Yunel Escobar.
So there are the runners. Hill at third, Buck at second, Lewis at first for Yunel Escobar. Laid down a sacrifice his first at bat, just the 7th sacrifice punt on the year for Toronto. Mattis misses away, 1-0. Escobar picked up in a trade with Atlanta over the All-Star break. 1-0, high fly ball left field and deep. Back is PA, and that ball's going to go. There's a grand slam for Yunel Escobar, his first Jays home run. So the power barrage continues for Toronto. A home run now in 11 consecutive games. And Toronto all of a sudden has a 5-1 lead.
Well, good hitters have to have plans. Cito Gaston, their manager, says, hey, you got to have an idea. And I think it's no mystery what Escobar was thinking. Young hitter. They're trying to come in. It stays up in the middle of the plate. And again, you can't throw the ball at 88 miles per hour in a hitter's count to a high ball hitter at this level and get away with it. And there's the result. Soaring fly ball. And boy, does that hurt. Unless you're a Jays fan.
Pitch taken low by Bautista, the 8th batter to come up. So Escobar's first career grand slam. The Jays have homered now in a season high 11 consecutive games, and that is the 25th home run in that streak.
Well, you know, if you look at Escobar, he comes over in the Gonzalez trade. He gets the big bunt and 2 great defensive plays on Friday. They're down by a run. He gets a hit to get Bautista to the plate. Last night he hits a 2-run home run, and today the grand slam. So I would have to think if you're Alex Andropoulos and you're the general manager and you're Cito Gaston, you're saying, you know what, this trade may work out. About 6 years younger than Alex Gonzalez, who had 17 home runs, leading all major league shortstop. But they are playing for the future, both with their pitching staff, and right now the president is they got a pretty good hitting team.
3-1, hard hit ball foul down the line.
And again, if you can make your pitches, and that's the difficulty for veterans and young guys, you have a chance. If not, you're in trouble. Look at that. And it's not that it's 140 home runs. That was one of those multi-home run home runs. The big fly with 3 guys on.
3-2 pitches, low ball 4, and the inning continues. That is the second walk in the inning. He's also hit a batter. And the Jays are about to bat around, and Rick Brannan's on the bullpen phone early. So Mattis lasted just 3 innings in his last start last Friday at Texas, and he's roughed up here in the second inning for 5 runs.
Well, they get Markham about 5.63 runs per game. That's how it averages out, and they've already done that. Well, it's nothing like, and of course, we've only seen Markham pitch 1 inning. As Hendrickson, I mean, he's been the anointed long guy. He was up Friday, up Saturday, hasn't been into any of the games, but pretty good combination when they get you an early lead on a hot, humid afternoon. And for Brian, he has to figure out a way to make some quality pitches and get out of this inning, and just hope that maybe the heat will take its toll on Sean Martin.
Well, he's had 3 batters since getting the second out of the inning that he has not been able to retire. Pitches low, 2-0 on Wells.
It's almost, you know, it's funny. He's on the cover of Baseball America. And, you know, it talks about, and again, it's just a scouting report. And I would say that maybe this magazine, they do a great job, but they'll overhype some young pitchers. And, you know, he sits in the low 90s with his fastball touching 95. Well, he is never. Usually he sits in the high 80s and occasionally touches the low 90s. So that means you can be effective, but you can't be in the middle of the plate. He's just going to have to learn that. He's going to be able to pitch right where he was, and then use his complementary pitching. And that's why you get the innings. That's why you get the inexperience.
3-1 to Wells. Swung out and missed. And a long inning for Mattis, facing his 9th batter. Bautista will be off on the pitch, full count with 2 down. And this one's pulled in the left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. It's going to get past Piango all the way to the wall. Bautista is being sent. He's coming towards the plate. The throw by Estouras is not in time. And there's an RBI double for Vernon Wells and a 6-run inning against Mattis.
Well, good pitch, 3-1, and right there, just inside middle. And, you know, it's down a little bit, but Vernon Wells is looking for the ball, gets the pitch to hit, and then it's pretty much, can I beat the throw? Good cutoff. You hit your cutoff man. Quick throw by Estouras. But again, Bautista can do a lot of things. He can run well, and he can hit for power, and he's played good defense in this series.
Wells picks up his 51st RBI on his 28th double. And that's going to be all for Ryan Mattis. Here comes Juan Sam Wells. So Mattis, after lasting 3 innings last Friday, will last just 1 2/3 in his start here today. Samuel, a very slow walk out to the mound. And Mattis about to head off the mound. His shortest outing in his career, 1 2/3. So Mattis leaves. Mark Hendrickson will come on. She'll try to get the final out in the second.
Getting pitches to hit, and again, he came in with a batting average a little over 200. So again, if you're Sean Markham, you're kind of happy with this. Mark Hendrickson, you know, he's done a terrific job of being a very good long man on many occasions. You know, he came in against Texas, stranded 3 inherited runners. You know, that you look at the numbers, he doesn't walk a lot of guys. He usually gives up more hits than innings pitched. You know, he's not a dominated lefty, you know, where he's going to get a lot of left-handers out. But it just seems that when he's on his game, and most of the time over the last 6 weeks he's been able to do that, he can pitch. And he's got a good feel for pitching. He's got a good changeup. You know, he's able to get lefties out because he can run the 2-seam fastball underneath their hands. So again, you know, he's just got to try to keep the game right where it is.
Adam Lynn fouls it back with Vernon Wells at second. So Mattis goes 1 2/3, the shortest outing of his career. This year, in his 2 starts against Texas, he went 2 1/3 on May the 20th, and then the 3 innings in his start last Friday at Texas. 1 2/3 here today.
And in all 3 of those games, there's been 2 3-run home runs and a grand slam. And not what you want to do. And sometimes you can't control it because they do have good hitting teams, and you know, especially Texas. It's kind of like the 27 Yankees.
Hendrickson in his first game since July 8th. That was the first game in that 4-game Texas series. He's ahead 0-2 on Adam Lind. High fly ball to right. Markakis in on the ball. He'll get there and has it for the out. The inning finally ends. But 10 men come to the plate, and the Jays score 6 mid-second, 6-1 Toronto. Crabs?
You're not allergic to them.
You're allergic?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's all right.
I'm sorry, I offered you those.
I'm just going to have a batting helmet. I'm going to run around with my batting helmet tonight. Eat burgers. Actually, my daughter, my youngest daughter, Kelly's in town with the twins.
Uh-oh. What's Grandpa been doing?
Well, now they're having dinner tonight. Of course, she lives down in Texas, and she's used to this weather. She goes, this is kind of cool. Only 89 at game time today.
I don't believe that.
No, it
was 95 when I got here this morning. How did it go down 6 degrees as the sun was going higher in the sky?
Well,
just because you have a new phone that you're enamored with.
Well, it may be having an off day, this phone. It says the high is going to be 96. It says it's 89, but I think and it says it's mostly cloudy, which is not. So it's confused.
Confused phone. Moore pops it up. Out is Escobar, charging in is Fred Lewis, and the left fielder has it for the out and one away. Well, Josh Bell getting a start at third base today. He was sent back when the Orioles were in Texas, but comes up because of the injury to Matt Wieters. And Juan Samuel, before the game, talked about trying to get some at-bats to get a look at Josh Bell.
I'm glad I got him in there today. You know, we're going to get a chance to see him, but he's a young guy. You know, I think he's learning a lot just by being up here and watching these guys go about the business. So I think he's learning, even though he's not playing much.
So Josh Bell batting with 1 out and none, takes ball 1. He's had 15 at-bats with the Orioles, 3 hits, and this is his 6th game with the O's.
And all from this side of the plate. You know, what was he hitting? It's 266 with 10 home runs, 44 RBIs down at AAA Norfolk. But everybody says he's a better hitter from left-handed because he sees more pitches, and he will get pitched to today. You'll see if he, there's going to be change-ups and they're going to be the curve balls, and he'll see occasional fastball, and Markham will try to keep them out of the center of the plate, just get him to get out on that front foot.
Well, the left field, he got a lot of it. Back on it is Lewis, and on the warning track, he has it for the out. So there's a sign of the power the opposite way for Bell. Hits it to the warning track for the out. Coming up on Tuesday, you could add to your Birdland wardrobe. It is Jason Birkin T-Shirt Tuesday, presented by Real Street Staffing. First 10,000 fans, 15 and over, receive a Jason Birkin Baltimore T-shirt. Tickets, 888-848-BIRD, or get online, Orioles.com. We can relax. He's not wearing the jacket.
Oh, yeah. I'm wondering Is that it's a night game? He wears a jacket regardless of the temperature. Day game.
Cesar Asturias with a base hit to left center field. Aaron Wells will cut it off to hold Asturias to a single. So Asturias is on with a 2-out base hit.
Yeah, and that's what a 6-1 lead. Not that you want to lay every ball in the middle of the plate, but you're just going to trust your stuff. You're going to make them hit the ball if they have quality bats, which Cesar just did. Otherwise, they may just line it at somebody. So again, unless the Orioles mount a steady attack because they don't hit that many home runs, Markham may not throw a pitch the rest of the afternoon that's really going to have that much import. And that's what you don't like. You want him to squeeze the ball a little bit, maybe feel a little tension.
Village PA fouls it straight down at the plate, rolls behind John Buck.
Now, a way of doing that is if somebody gets into one. I was out there for many, many starts, and you have a lead. The last thing you want to do is blow it, especially early in the game. So it's important that the Orioles put some runs on the board earlier. They already put the one on in the first inning. And then again, as you get towards that 5th inning, which you need to do to qualify for a start, that's always a tenuous moment for a starting pitcher.
He swings through it, no balls and 2 strikes. Felix flied out his first at bat, hit it to the warning track in right field. One thing Markham has done, he's retired the leadoff batter in each of the first 2 innings. Mattis was unable to do that. Lewis led off the first with a single, and Adam Lind got that rally going in the second with a single.
We talked about that last night. Brad Bergeson, 5 of the first 6 innings that he pitched, Toronto was able to get on Friday night, parlayed it into 4 runs.
0-2 pitches low, 1-2. PA was not in the original starting lineup today, but Juan Samuel put him in left field when Patterson was scratched. Boy expects to miss a couple of days with that sore heel. Crow. There's the 1-2 to PA. Bouncer towards the middle, and that's going to score down through for a base hit. Asturias down by 5 will play it safe and hold at second base as Vernon Wells quickly got to that ball. So Felix PA's on with a base hit. Back-to-back singles after 2 men down.
Yeah, he's able to wait on a pretty good curveball. It's not down and away, but that's the advantage of shortening your swing. All the work he did last year, this spring, before he got hurt. So again, he waits. That ball's on the outside third of the plate. Foot gets down, and then that short swing was much longer when he first came over from the Cubs. And to me, this is a kid that's got a very high ceiling, and you're seeing it because of a better swing path to the ball.
Now here's where you need that long ball, and you're right back
double. Yeah, you got great speed at first. You hit one up the gap. All of a sudden, if you're Sean Markham, you go, oh, wait a minute. It's hot. This is only the 2nd inning. So a chance to get on the board again, something that Miguel has not done as well as he normally does. Only hit 233 with runners in scoring position, but this can turn the game around. They can get their manager, Cito Gaston, thinking, what kind of stuff does Markham have?
Fooled by that pitch and swings through it. No balls and 2 strikes.
And it doesn't have to be the double. It could be a flared single, high chopper.
Just get a run in.
Yeah, keep the inning going to get to Markakis. It's hard to be talking about critical at bats and then you're down 6-1, but this is just part of the puzzle of trying to get back into the game.
Just a slight breeze here at Camden Yards on this hot day.
Real slight.
0-2 on Tejada. He extended his hitting streak to 7 straight with a single off Markham in the first inning. Just outside. Miguel has not had a multi-hit game since July the 6th in the 7-game hitting streak, which he extended today. 1 hit in each game.
What? You got all this info. I know you got your computer there. You keep this. Very diligent.
High fly ball to center field. Vernon Wells is there, so Markham will get out of it. And Wells has it for the out, so 2 hits and 2 left. We'll head to the 3rd at Camden Yards. Blue Jays lead it 6-1. Cold Budweiser is the way to go.
Right. You drink it, press it to your forehead, anything to keep cool.
Falcon baseball on a nice warm Sunday afternoon at Camden Yards. Mark Hendrickson got the final out of the second. We'll go to work on Aaron Hill on a relief of Brian Mattis. Working back ground ball to third. Bell has it. And he gets it across and one down on one pitch in the third inning.
Yeah, nice little executed changeup off the end of the bat. You can see that Josh Bell's got a strong arm. The accuracy, and that's what Gary Allenson, who is now the third base coach, was the skipper at Norfolk early on. He said he's got a strong arm, still just, again, working on the mechanics of catching it, getting your feet underneath it.
There's Lyle Overbay, who struck out in that second inning rally. Hendrickson gets ahead, 0-1.
Oh, we were talking about last night, again, when your starter's ERA and you have them leaving earlier, 14th starting innings because of that. They're the most in the American League, and then the bullpen innings, of course, at least the starters, and then the bullpen getting right up there. And that will catch up with you. It will catch up with you when you don't score a lot of runs. And it seems like you got, every time you come in as a bullpener, you got to be perfect.
Well, last night, the 2-run home run allowed by Birkin snapped the streak of consecutive innings without a run at 20 2/3.
And it was that Escobar guy that kept the inning alive. A soft single to left on a 2-strike slider, and then the 2-run home run.
The 2 pitches high, goes all the way back to the screen. Here's a good look. You think they visited the kids' corner?
I think so.
1-2 pitch, slice to left field, back on it as PA's. That ball carries, still going back, won't get it. And it bounces up into the stands for a ground rule double.
Yeah, just did not get a good read on that ball. Would have been a very difficult play. And as Overbay, who had the 8-game hitting streak, and again, just doesn't pick it up. And when he does, the ball is going to slice away. And the only way that you can get better out there is every day. And I was talking to Dwayne Murphy. He won 6 straight Gold Gloves. He's their hitting instructor here in Toronto. He said that's what you got to do. You just got to go out there and work on it and work on it and work on it. And that's one of the things. Pitchers come out, should be doing their running, their preparation.
Broken bat bloop, left center field. That ball's trouble. That's in for a base hit. Rounding third, heading to the plate is Overbay, and he will score. So it is a 7-1 Toronto lead as John Buck picks up his second RBI in the game.
Yeah, great read by Lyle Overbay, because he just, knew that with Buck up, leading major league catchers with home runs, big swing off the end of the bat. Look at, he did right there, a little slight hesitation. He sees that Adam Jones is only going to get to it on the hop. And there is your 7th run.
So Hendrickson, after retiring Hill, allows a double and now an RBI single. Edwin Encarnacion batting now. He struck out his first at bat. Now I realize PA came up as a center fielder, so learning a new position, but you would think that he's been out there enough that the reading the ball off the bat by now would be more instinct than working on it.
Well, it's not instinctive because of the spin of the ball, and that's why it's much easier to play center field. I used to power shag every day that I wasn't pitching because it was a way to stay in shape. And George Stahl, our first base coach, said you may be our 3rd best outfielder, and I worked on it only because it was fun, and that's why you come to the ballpark. My best story is Paul O'Neill. Turned himself into a real, won a batting title, 300 or more for 5 straight years with the Yankees. And he tells a story about when he was playing for Indianapolis, when he came up for Cincinnati, and somebody got hurt at the big league club, and he was hitting 350, and they called somebody else up, and he sprinted into the manager's room, and he said, "Hey, I'm hitting 350. Why didn't they call me up?" They said they wanted a complete player. And he said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, you know what? All you care about is offense." And I'm not saying that Felix PA or Adam Jones or Marquez, but Paul O'Neill said from that day on, I went out there and for 2 sessions of batting practice worked on my defense, and he became a very good outfitter, as did Al Bunbury, as did Kurt Bleffert. And at the end of the day, whoever comes in here to manage it is not going to be one saying, well, they're going to have to get this club to play up to their capabilities. And whatever it takes. You're not going to turn, average players or slightly above average players into all-stars, but you can make them the best they are. And that's what work ethic's about. I was lucky enough to have Cal Ripken Sr., so I learned, and all the other guys that played on our A-ball team.
3-2 pitch popped up to center field, chasing Jones back. The ball carried a lot farther than it looked like when it left the bat, so heading back to first base is Buck. 2 men down now in the Blue Jays' third.
So while this team is not playing the way they want, you hear a lot of excuses. We got to be better. Well, how do you get better? Your work at it. Cal Ripken Sr., and I'm going to leave it alone after this. He said, when you put on the Oriole uniform, that is my work uniform. You come out here to work. And what do you work on? To win games, to be the best player you can be. It's not as difficult sometimes as we make it. You got a work ethic. That's what I learned when I was 18. And I played with a lot of great players that understood that. So whoever comes in here is going to have to instill that in whether you're young, old, limited service, whatever, to be the best player you can be. Maybe that's what good managing is about.
Well, and the other aspect of that, an extension of exactly what you're saying, is if you're a big league player, you should expect that they would want to be the best player that they can be. And if that's what it takes to do, well, then you go do the work. Lewis swings through it, and it's 1-2. I mean, you look at the teams in the division that the Orioles are trying to catch, and the teams have one thing in common, is that the stars on those teams are the hardest workers.
Yeah, you get your core players to lead the parade. So part of it is getting core players to understand that.
1-2 on Lewis. Runner at first, run in, 2 down. And strike 3 called. So Lewis looks it over. He's down on strikes. Toronto adds a run, strands one mid-third. 7-1 Jays.
Batting cage, pitching station, and much more. Families can also enjoy a special Orioles merchandise store tailored to younger fans and a concession stand selling kid-sized hot dogs, popcorn, and soda for just $1. So bring your family to the all-new Orioles Park Carvel Kids Corner, located on the ballpark's main concourse level, just inside Gate C on the first base side. Jim?
All right, Amber, thanks very much. Looks like a lot of fun out there for the youngsters. Older students here today.
They had like the misting tent here. I know they used to have that. Like when you go play the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
They have them on the sidewalks in Arizona. It's 110 every day.
But it's a dry. so they say.
It's still like
you grew up there, you would know.
You can acclimate yourself. Well, the way you acclimate yourself here is to do your work on the field. It's just part of playing in Baltimore, in the Northeast, in the summer, Midwest.
So those numbers with Markakis in the last 26 games. It's amazing how consistent he is. He hasn't had back-to-back hitless games since the middle of June, over a month ago. Takes low ball, too.
Well, he's the poster child for hitting it where they pitch. And all you have to do is look at the way he's scattered singles. 32 to left, now 40 with the single to center, 40 up the middle, 33 to right.
And he pulls it into right field for a base hit. Running it down is Jose Bautista. Markakis has tried for two. Here's the throw. Hit first slide. He's in with a double. And Markakis has a two-hit game. It's his 32nd multi-hit effort, and there are the Orioles extending the streak at double now in 12 straight games.
Yeah, this double is a product of hitting a changeup into center field. He tries to sneak a four-seam fastball by him, and as we mentioned in the opening, starting to drive the ball over the last road trip. 3 home runs in the last 65 at-bats. 6 on the total. So again, he just turns on a fastball up and in. Again, Markham not going to overpower you. Terrific at bat. You just got to keep attacking Markham and hope you can get back in the game. And part of it is that you hope your bullpen will be successful. Henriksen, whoever else comes in, and then you just peck away.
So Markakis is 30th double. At the moment, he has the American League lead. He was tied with Longoria and Hamilton. Neither have doubled in their games. Longoria and the Rays are in New York. They'll be here tomorrow. Texas is at Boston. Good looking breaking ball, and Wigginton couldn't reach it. 0-2.
Yeah, that's been the pattern with Tide. Real good high fastball hitter. Last night, Morrow, one of the better sliders I've seen, with a power fastball to go along with it. Also a curveball, and that's the way they pitch him. And then Romero, change-ups and breaking balls. Good curveball on Friday night. And then a fastball in the low to almost mid-90s on occasion.
2 pitches low. Nice block by John Buck. Orioles have stranded 4 men on already in this game. 2 in the first and then 2 in the second.
Yeah, he really does a nice job and just smothers it. He is trying to keep it in front of you, because if you keep it in front of you and your weight is going forward, then what you can do is you can actually pounce on the ball. And down by 6 runs, Nick's not going anywhere. This was a 1-run game. He probably would have tried to advance.
1-2 to Wigginton. He got him. So Wigginton down on strikes, and 1 away in the 3rd inning. That is strikeout number 2.
Yeah, the scouting report, Toronto saying let's stay away from the fastball, and again they get ahead, so you get almost every hitter to expand, and that's a good changeup down and out of the strike zone.
Adam Jones now, he got the Orioles on the board for a first inning lead with a 2-out RBI single in the bottom of the first. His 40th RBI on the year, his 99th base hit. Markakis at second now with 1 man down. With off-speed pitch, and Jones swings through it.
Well, he's got a good one. Sliders, changeups, curveballs. And the hitters tell you how good your fastball is. I think Sean Learn tried to get one up and into Markakis and turned on it for a double. Doesn't mean you don't use it. It's nice to have 3 other options with your other pitches, which he appears to have command of.
Take it inside. The lefties came into this game batting .177 against Markham. And left-handed batters for the Orioles have 4 of the 6 hits in this game. Markakis has 2, P.A. has 1, Estouras has 1. Ball and a strike on Jones. Lob off the right side, 1-2.
Well, that pitch at 89, it seemed like it was about 95. because of all the other stuff. Sean Markham, I mean, outstanding. We told you just what, the end of 2008, the Tommy John surgery. So he came back, pitched last year, but 5-0 this May. I don't know if they expected him back. I'm not sure they expected him to pitch that well. And as we mentioned, on the DL because of some scar tissue kind of giving him some inflammation. So they backed him off, put him on the DL, and here he is again. They get him 7 runs early.
Ball and 2 strikes on Jones. Fights it off to stay alive. Well, last night, Toronto scored all 3 runs on 2 home runs. And today, 4 of their 7 runs came in on 1 swing on the grand slam by Escobar. The Orioles have not yet homered in this series. There's Markakis at second base, leadoff double. He's there now with 1 down. Center field, Wells has it. Markakis will tag to draw a throw. Wells fires back in. And 2 men down on the fly ball out by Adam Jones. Well, fans, tell your boss that Jim Palmer says it's okay to get out of work early on Wednesday and enjoy a summer afternoon for family and friends here at Oriole Park. First 10,000 kids 14 and under at the game at 12:35 against Tampa Bay will receive an Orioles foam finger. The tickets, 888-848-BIRD, or get online, Orioles.com.
See, this is the double header type of day. We come here, and then we go down to Bowie to see Brian Roberts play Wednesday night. Unless they're playing an afternoon game. I know you'll have that on your computer.
I'm up for that. You want to do that?
Well, we got to know that he's going to play.
Okay.
Nothing against it.
Well, I'm sure John Stockstill can let us know that. I mean, if Brian's at Bowie, he's going to play. We should do that.
would think that.
I'll even drive.
Should we send our people?
I don't have people. That's my problem.
We could work on that, but we've got a couple of days to do
Sure. There's Jake Fox, so it'll take a 2-out hit now to get that run in. Fox struck out, stranding 2 runners to end the first. Orioles have had hits in each inning, but so far just the 1 run.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying, the early 1-0 lead, but then they come right back with 6 and then 1 to take the 7-1 lead. So you thought that they might, except to how to made it out, get back in the game if they get the 2-out base hit in the second, just to put a little pressure on Markham. But right now, when you're as good as he is with a low ERA of 3.44, he doesn't like to give up runs. But again, I always thought when you get that lead and they start pecking away, you start looking at the scoreboard and you look in the dugout, you see your manager saying, hey, I don't want to blow this lead. Things change.
By the way, even though it was a great idea, Bowie plays 11 a.m. on Wednesday, so we can't go because we'll be here.
See? It's just a matter of wanting to be there. That's what's important.
Well, it's, 11 a.m. you and I will be at the production meeting, so we can't miss that.
Yes. We will be.
Yes, we will. Very important.
A lot earlier than 11.
Well, that's different. Markakis at second with 2 down. Here's the 1-2 to Fox, and he's down on strike. So back-to-back off-speed breaking balls. Fox is over 2 with a couple strikeouts. Double a man left. Led to the 4th. 7-1 Jays.
quite get it in far enough. And this is a kid that, struggled this year because he did have some injuries, but 14 home runs last year, 10 the year before, almost hit 300 last year down in Atlanta. So they get a young guy that, they're supposed to be complacent, indifferent from time to time, but certainly hasn't been here in the first 3 games.
Our Ford Drive of the Game brought to you by Ford. Your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive one. Mark Hendrickson came on and got the final out of the second in relief of Brian Mattis. Allowed a run in the third. Escobar, Bautista, and Wells. Ground ball towards the hole. That gets out through for a base hit. Past the dive of Bell and past the lunge of Asturias. So for the third time in 4 innings, the leadoff man is on with a single. The perfect afternoon continues for Escobar. Here's Jose Bautista, who contributed in the rally in the second inning with a walk and a run scored. Off-speed breaking ball. That's fair for the moment. Fox picks it up foul. The spin took it foul off the foul line, and Fox jumped on it. It would have been a base hit had it stayed fair.
Jose Bautista started with Pittsburgh, traded as a Rule 5 guy to the Orioles, went to Tampa Bay, Kansas City, back to Pittsburgh, and then was traded for Robinson Diaz. He has figured it out. He gives a lot of credit to Dwayne Murphy, his hitting instructor, and Cito Gaston, about getting loaded. Getting back so you're in a prepared position to hit. Right there. And he said the problem is that he said, now I feel like I'm so prepared, I expand the strike zone. He's got to be careful about that. And it's not as simple as just saying he's a good fastball hitter. You got to get him out with breaking balls. They have to be good breaking balls.
Strike 3 called emphatically by Tim Welke. Second strikeout for Mark Hendrickson, 1 away in the 4th.
Yeah, Tim says that this is a real good pitch. Maybe it's a little off the corner. Nope, got exactly on the corner. Tim Welke saying, you had your opportunities. You got 7 runs. I'm going to call that inside corner. Perfect pitch.
Tim Welke, the crew chief, has the plate today.
The Welke brothers.
Tim behind the plate, Bill at first. Vernon Wells, first ball swinging, pops it up down the first base line. Who's it going to be? That ball's trouble, and it's fair, and it's in for a base hit. Heading towards third base is Escobar, and the throw will be off the bat. So Vernon Wells right down the line. Markakis couldn't reach it, Moore couldn't reach it, and it falls in for a single.
Probably about the highest single you can ever have, because that ball's up there at a long, long time. But again, it's right in the Bermuda Triangle. Markakis out in right center. Nick can't get to it. Moore can't get to it.
The fear on those kind of pop-ups is that somebody might get hurt as you're all converging together, as we saw there.
Well placed by Wells.
The runners on the corners now. Outstanding base running by Escobar, who had to wait to make sure that ball would fall in. You see Markakis, his hand on his knee. Here's Adam Lynn. Bouncer. Wigginton has it. He'll go to second for the out there. Back to first is not in time, and it goes beyond Mark Hendrickson. Wigginton had trouble getting it out of his glove. He got the out at second base. A run will score. It's 8-1. And that'll be an RBI for Adam Lind on the ground out.
Yeah, he'd really like to try to turn 2, and I think that's what the intent of Ty. But once he has to double clutch, you can see Hendrickson, as big as he is at 6'9", he can't quite get it. Throws a little bit offline, flat-footed throw. Ball tails. It will stay in play because of the mesh screening in front of the dugouts and the camera wells. And you can see Ty, he's frustrated because I think if he knew if he was going to double clutch, he might have come home. but the intent, of course, is try to get out of the inning with a double play ball.
Curveball in there for a strike to Aaron Hill. He walked and scored in the second, grounded out leading off the third. Adam Lind picks up his 42nd RBI on that ground out. There's a strike, 0-2. Samuel does not like to witness sloppy baseball. 0-2 is outside. Hendrickson now has allowed 2 runs since coming on. The tough break of this inning was that main hit by Vernon Wells. Breaking ball hit towards the hole as Torres has it. They'll flip to second in time to get the sliding Lind, and the inning ends. Jays had a run mid-fourth at Camden Yards, 8-1 Toronto. Or Jimmy Key.
That's 4 really good pitchers.
Yeah.
I got to go with Dave Steve.
All right, I'm going to go with Pat Henkin. Answer is
and the drama.
Dave Steve.
Yes.
175.
See, it's a new half or new second portion.
You are undefeated.
No, I was wrong.
When?
Last night. I didn't know. I thought Albert Bell had like
that's
49
right. I was
home
right
runs,
last night.
48 home runs, not 50 home runs.
You should I had already forgotten. You should have just said you were right.
No, but I went 2 out of 3.
Yes, you were. 1 out of 3. He's got more leads off in the fourth. Fouls it back. Markham has allowed only 1 run despite 6 base hits. Orioles have had hits in each of their first 3 innings, but they have stranded 5. And now trail 8-1. And there's a ball hit to first. Big bounce to Overbay. Markham gets over to cover. And 1 down. Well, on that pop-up hit by Vernon Wells down the line, Markakis, he came off the field, and clearly he was spiked. He actually even had a hole on the sock, and you can see how his cleat is ripped as he was spiked as he and Scott Moore came together right there. So converging on it at the same time, both looking skyward, and the feet came together. It appears to be okay, and he'll just get a new cleat.
That's where the shoe contract comes in.
Josh Bell off the end of the bat to center field, and that falls for a base hit. So Bell is on. He's 1 out of 2. And the Orioles have a 1-out base runner. Today's Maryland Lottery Hit It Here fan of the game is Ashley Baker from Baltimore. If an Orioles player hits the Hit It Here sign located in the bullpen area, Ashley wins $100,000. To find out more how you can become the fan of the game, visit mdlottery.com/hitithere. It has to be an Oriole player to hit the sign.
Oh, it does?
Yes. I just saw that in the copy. So if a visitor hits it, nice job.
Oh, there was a home run.
Bautista.
Bautista's home run.
His bounced.
But it bounced because he got into that bullpen area.
It scattered his teammates out there.
Yeah, that's we don't want to give the opposition the incentive to hit it 430 feet off. They hit it here. So.
Now, Cesar Asturias, especially batting left-handed, hits it, we'll have a score. Josh Bell at first with one down. His fourth hit as an Oriole. Asturias fouls it back. Cesar singled his first at bat. He's now 3 out of 8 in the series.
That 2-run single last night, and then the last out of the game. Off of Sean Camp after Kevin Drake walked the bases loaded.
Markham ahead 0-2. And this ball's lifted to right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Josh Bell will get the second and hold there. So Cesar Asturias picks up another hit. His 16th multi-hit game, and the Orioles have 2 on with 1 down. And the Orioles have 8 hits, 7 singles. Yeah, this is where they need the big blow that can get you back into the game. PA comes up 1 out of 2. He singled his last at bat. Now this is the classic display of, so far, bending but not breaking.
Well, you're right. And Markham, he doesn't know Josh Bell. He got an information pitch, threw him a fastball, even though he flew out on a fastball the first time. But again, this is also the import of not, if you're a starting pitcher, having a big inning against you, trying to stay away from that, because it allows Markham to do exactly what he is, which is where, to this point, there's not a lot of tension in any of the pitches he's thrown. It just makes it easier to pitch. Doesn't take away the degree of difficulty, and you still have to get him out. But it's nice to be able to know that one pitch is not going to beat you. And that's been the case so far.
PA's in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Markham has struck out 3. He has not walked a batter. His command is generally very good. He averages only 2 walks per 9 innings. PA lifts it to right center field. Bautista over, and it hangs for him, and he makes the catch. So 2 men down as that one hung up enough for Bautista. Fans coming up on Friday, first 10,000 fans 21 and over will receive a freezable Orioles tankard presented by Guinness. So stay cool during this hot Birdland summer for a fun night of Orioles baseball. For your tickets, 888-848-BIRD, or get online at Orioles.com. See, on Friday you can get your tankard and bring it with you to the Hall of Fame next weekend. And on the hot day up there, you can be nice and cool.
Be up there on the platform.
You and Yogi and the guys.
Reggie.
There's Miguel Tejada. Foul back, nothing in 1.
Yeah, the way you guys dress in the pregame and the postgame, I might have to have you and Rick Dempsey help me with my wardrobe.
Depper's good at it. Oh. He's a dapper dresser.
Yeah, the only thing that Tom Davis has over him is a bevy of multicolored fake Rolexes. He's got one for every blazer that he has.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, now you do. They may be fake, but they weigh the same as a real Rolex.
There's the 0-1-2 Tejada. There's a strike on the inside corner. Nice pitch.
Yeah, real good pitch there. Yeah, you get a guy that throws 89 but can command it. get a chance, along with 2 or 3 other pitches.
He got ahead of PA 0-2. Now he's ahead of Tejada 0-2. The third again. Another nice block by John Buck.
Yeah, that ball doesn't have a chance. There's no way the ball is getting by. I mean, that's textbook as far as blocking balls and keeping in front of them. And again, just imagine you're down by 7 runs, 8-1. And okay, that ball bounces way out. He slides over, centers his body. Because if that had been a wild pitch, you would have had runners in second and third, and then all of a sudden that's a 2-run single if Tejada can come through.
There's Turris at first, Bell at second, with 2 men down. Down and away, Tejada doesn't chase, 2-2. And there's the pitch that was not enticable.
And the reason, the difference is sometimes out of your hand, if it's a ball, you don't. It's not enticing, or enticable as you would like to talk.
It's our new word.
That it is.
Feel free to use it, since we coined it together. Here's the 2-2 to Tejada inside, ball 3. And the Orioles saw Tejada fall behind 0-2. Now it's full. Runners will be off with the pitch.
Yeah, you would think he's going to get a strike to hit here. And it'd be interesting to see what it is, because if I'm Sean Markham, I'm looking on deck right here with a 7-run lead and seeing Markakis, who's already 2 for 2. I have to make Miguel Tejada put the ball in play.
Runners go, the 3-2. Loop to left field, and on the ball is Lewis. It hangs for him, and he has it for the out. So a couple of bloops hang in the air and are caught. 2 hits, 2 left. We'll enter the 5th. 8-1 Toronto. Another young fan trying to mug for the camera. See, he found out that it must have been his brother was the fan of the game, and he wanted some equal time with him. 8-1 game. Here come the Jays in the 5th. Lyle Overbay up for his 3rd at-bat. Hendrickson still in. Ball swept towards the hole. Moore. Carter was left, has it, spins and throws. He got him. Nice play by Scott Moore and one away.
And also Ty Wigginton able to keep that foot as he goes into foul territory. So Scott Moore really hadn't played much second base, still learning. I mean, great range right here. Part of it is knowing how quick you are. So, because if you take a shorter angle, you may not get to that ball, may get by you. And again, knowing who's running.
The one down, John Bucknell's got a perfect day going. 2 hits, 2 RBIs. And he takes a strike. Hendrickson has allowed 2 runs on 4 hits since coming on in relief with Mattis. Mattis allowed 6 runs in his inning and 2/3. John Bucknell's got a 5-game hitting streak going with his 2 hits today.
We talked about along with Batista representing and Vernon Wells representing the Blue Jays at the All-Star game. He said, you know, it's such a hectic time. He said, but he wanted it to last forever because he said, you know, the home running hitting contest and so on and so on. And he just had a great time out there. He also talked about, he said, you know, it's funny when you, because I saw him down on the field on Friday and it was about 96 degrees. He said, really had to change my workouts because of the weather. You know, played most of his career in Kansas City, which is, you know, at least can be as hot as it is here in Baltimore. But he used to work out after the game. He said all of a sudden he had to change his workout. He starts at 9:30 in the morning, starts drinking the fluids, because there is not a more difficult position than catching. And I'm sure Matt Wieters could add a couple of chapters to that. If you're going to catch in the middle of the summer, Kansas City, anywhere, especially here in Baltimore with the humidity. It's a different type of training.
Wieters on the DL with his hamstring strain.
And John Buck says, I start hydrating the minute I get up in the morning. Because he just knows how difficult it is. I mean, imagine today. A little bit cooler than it was yesterday and Friday, but certainly not cool by any means.
2 outs, none on. 1-0 on Encarnacion, who was 0 for 2. He's the only Blue Jay batter not to be on base in this game.
You know what the way I look at this? Somebody has to make the outs.
That's a good point.
It just may be him.
There's a number out in front of the plate, and it rolls foul. First base line.
I think Jake Fox behind the plate today is not going to field this game tomorrow. Not doing a lot of catching. Yeah, there they are. Craig Tatum on the right, who is doing most of the catching with Matt Wieters, as you mentioned, on the disabled list.
The catcher's talking. Good off-speed pitch swung through 2-2. Hendrickson has struck out 3 since coming on. He has not walked a batter. There's the 2-2 and the dirt ball 3. The Blue Jays have not been retired in order in this game. Sent 10 men to the plate in the second inning when they chased Brian Mattis.
Oh, Encarnacion, he struggled. He's 1 for 10 because they've been able to get him out with the breaking balls, and there's another one.
Well, it's ripped into left field for a base hit, so P.L. play it back in, and Encarnacion joins the parade as he gets on base for the first time today. Fans, the Orioles game against the Twins on Saturday, July 24th. It was originally scheduled for 4:10, but now will begin at 7:05 p.m. The game now also can be seen locally on MASN 2 HD. Now, gates to Oriole Park will open at 5 o'clock for season plan holders, 5:30 for the general public. For tickets and more details, 888-848-MURDER, online at Orioles.com. And 2 down, and here is Lewis with a runner at first. Here's a strike. Lewis 1 out of 2. He's also been hit by a pitch, scored a run. That was a 3-game hitting streak going. He hit in each of the games in this series. There's Encarnacion at first with 2 men down. And that hit him. So Lewis hit by a pitch twice in this game. Just barely grazed him, but Tim Welke immediately called.
Another fastball that runs in, and I guess it gets the jersey. That's less painful, obviously, than getting hit on the hand like he did the last time.
And a 2-out rally here now, 2 on for Yunel Escobar. Sacrifice bunt, a grand slam, and a single. Breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Tampa Bay is in town tomorrow. Night games on Monday and Tuesday, and then a 12:30 game on Wednesday. The Rays are in New York completing their series against the Yankees today.
Yeah, they start the afternoon, only 2 games back in the loss column. 4 again ahead of the Red Sox. 10 again ahead of the Blue Jays.
Tampa Bay and the Yankees are tied at 3. Rays got all their runs in the top of the first. 3-run home run by Carlos Pena off Andy Pettitte. The Yankees have come back to tie. And Samuel looking on as his team trails 8-1 in the 5th inning. Hard hit ball. There's a base hit up the middle for Escobar. Encarnacion coming towards the plate. He will score. Throw behind the runner at second, and getting back in safely is Lewis. So it's 9-1 Toronto as Escobar picks up his 5th RBI. All this with 2 outs and nobody on.
Yeah, watch this curveball. Again, you know, fastball count. You just try to get me over curveball, maybe make it a little bit better, but it stays up enough. As the one did to Encarnacion, and Escobar hammers it into center field.
Toronto now has 11 base hits. Here is Jose Bautista. Good hack, and he fouled it back. Bautista reached in the 2nd inning with a 2-out walk. He later scored. Matt Albert's now getting loose for the Orioles. Hendrickson got the final out of the 2nd. He's been on ever since, so this is his 3rd full inning aboard. Off-speed pitch for a strike, 0-2.
Yeah, the Blue Jays came in with giving up 411 runs and scoring 411 runs. So that number's changed. 8 runs to the good so far this afternoon. And of course, their record coming in 46 wins and 45 losses. So Orioles scoring 328 and giving up 473, 145 more runs going into the game. That's a number you really look at. Beginning of the year, middle of the game.
You know, I guess if the batting average improved for the Jays, the home run totals would come down. But it's kind of amazing. You just wonder what this team could be if they weren't 13th in team batting. A few more guys getting on base, because with all these home runs they hit.
Well, how about on base percentage? You're 13th in that too. I mean, that's contrary to the Moneyball theory, where you got to work the walk, hit the home runs, but you got to get on base.
1-2 is hit towards shortstop as Torres has it. He'll go to second for the force, and that ends the inning. But the Jays add another run mid-5th at Camden Yards. 9-1 Toronto.
scratched with a left bruised heel. He is day-to-day. Now, that injury could affect the anticipated roster move to activate Luke Scott. That could happen tomorrow. Luke Scott will be with the team tomorrow. That's when Juan Samuel says the decision will be made whether or not to activate him, and he would be in the lineup tomorrow if he's activated, or send him to Bowie just to get a couple more at-bats. But when Luke is activated, because Corey most likely will be out a couple of days, they're not likely to send Josh Bell down as was anticipated. We could see a reliever sent down like Frank Mata because the Orioles can't afford to go short on the bench for another couple of days, Jim.
All right, Amber, and that 8-man bullpen remains. So Juan Samuel today really has a 2-man bench because Corey's unable to play, so he's got Julio Lugo and Craig Tatum. And that is a problem when you, late in games and close games in particular, would like to pinch hit.
Well, you're right, and we've seen that both on Friday and Saturday nights in close games, losing 4-2 and 3-2.
Markham deals to Markakis and 1-0, and he's had a good day. A couple of hits.
Yeah, change up the first time and single to center, and then ripped a fastball. He tried to get up and in down the right field line, make it into a 8 double. You can see that average 440 against Sean Markham. That's why it was so important. In fact, it's been important both times. The Orioles trying to get back into the game, and Tejada made outs in the second and the fourth, and then the Oriole pitching staff giving up additional runs. They had him on the ropes a little bit. I guess about as much you can be on the ropes when you got a 7-1 lead, but the chance to peck away just couldn't quite get it done to this point.
And the Birds have left 7 men on base through their first 4 at-bats. Markham does not yet have a 3-up, 3-down inning. This one's blooped down the left field line, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Markakis hustling around first, thinking 2. He's going to try for 2. The throw, he is in there with a double. There's the throw of Fred Lewis eluded second baseman Aaron Hill. So Markakis 3 out of 3, his second double of the game.
Yeah, Hill makes a great effort. Lewis gets to it very quickly with a lot of spin. I mean, watch this swing. Change up, just serves it down the line. Look at the ball spin away, and then Lewis comes right up, snap throw, swipe tag, and I don't know if Hill would have had him. It's 9-1. Give a little idea of Fred Lewis likes to play all facets of the game. He got to it very quickly, made a perfect throw, wanted the out.
And Hill couldn't hold on. Here's Wigginton, who's had a tough day. He's 0 for 2, including a strikeout. He was 0 for 4 in the game last night. Sharply grounded foul. So the trend continues for the Orioles. They have a hit in each inning. Markakis doubles leading off the inning, but so far only 1 run as Markham keeps getting big outs. It's in the dirt. Markakis thought about going, now has to get back to second base as Buck throws behind him.
Yeah, that ball hopped right back up to John Buck. Nick scurried back. This is the way you like to see the game played, because he's anticipating getting the third, and it makes a very good play. So even though you're down by 8, obviously he's not going to get himself thrown out, but you still got to get the primary jumps and leads that if it wasn't 9-1, we could get the third, just in case that ball doesn't come up into a throwing position for Buck.
Breaking ball fouled off. Trying to time the swing there.
A lot of breaking balls, and look at the numbers of Wigginton. 32 hits to left, 30 up the middle, 16 to right, but he's a better hitter when he drives the ball back at the pitcher, and the home runs just seem to come. And the reason for that is because then he starts hitting better pitches. The ball travels a little bit deeper, able to stay on the breaking ball. Lately he's just pulling off a little bit, so more susceptible to the good breaking ball. Right there, he needs an offer. It's just amazing how, when you look at numbers in baseball, if you can lay off those borderline breaking balls, and we saw the Blue Jays do that against Brad Ferguson, you get yourself back into better counts. And as the count gets full, the 3-2, pitchers have to throw for more of the plate. And that's, to me, the difference of pitching ahead and behind. You can aim for that corner. And hitters are going to expand.
2-2 on Wigginton with Markakis at second. Just inside. Wow. Either he was badly fooled or that's a good eye.
No, he was looking away. And, John Buck's talking to Tim Welke. Just a good running fastball. But it's inside. Not by much. I mean, that's all. If you're a hitter, I mean, of course, pitcher won't that. But all hitters care. Are you going to make him throw it over?
2 is fouled off his foot.
Another changeup. One thing about Sean Markham, he is not predictable. Doesn't matter what the count is, he will use all his pitches. And that's part of his ability to get hitters out.
Bruce Walton, the pitching coach.
He was their bullpen coach for about 8 years. He said, boy, did I learn a lot out there. Because, I mean, you're really like a second pitching coach. Alan Dunn, along with Rick Kranitz, Alan out in the bullpen.
3-2 on Wigginton. And he popped it up. Shallow right, charging in is Bautista. He'll get there. And he has it for the out, and one away in the Oriole 5th inning. Join the Oriole Advocates on Friday, August 6th from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. It's the annual Orioles Hall of Fame luncheon held at Oriole Park on the 6th floor of the warehouse. The special luncheon will honor the 2010 Orioles Hall of Fame inductees, Ray Miller, the late Johnny Oates, and Len Johnston. Individual tickets are $50, so to get your tickets and for more information, call 410-466-8214. Deserving honor for Ray Miller to be going into the Hall of Fame. There's Alan Dunn in the Oriole bullpen. One-time pitching coach and manager for a couple of years here.
Oh, the rabbit.
I thought I was going to sneeze. I felt the need to clue in on that when we were looking at me.
Just look the other way.
Adam Jones first ball swinging, pops it up. Shallow left. Hit on it is Lewis. And he has it for the out, angling to get a better view, looking up into that sun. Markakis holds it second now with 2 men out. Here's Jake Fox coming up for a 3rd time with a runner in scoring position. So far 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. The Orioles have 9 hits in this game. They have scored 1, and they have stranded 7.
Well, 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. That number just keeps seeming to come back and haunt you. So the Blue Jays do a better job, and then they hit the grand slam. And there's your difference.
Oh, and 1 on Fox. And he bounced foul down the line. This is game 3 of a 10-game homestand. Tampa Bay's in beginning tomorrow, and then Minnesota for a 4-gamer beginning Thursday. And then the Orioles head out to Toronto and then Kansas City. Well, and the Orioles in the part of the schedule here where they don't have another day off until August 2nd.
Yeah, they haven't played the Rays since what, April? Just got to believe, I think the last time they played them, 14th of April. Been a while.
0-2 is outside, 1-2.
I was doing my scorecard for the Rays. They kind of weathered an 11-14 June. After at one point, I think they were 32-12. That's how they started the season.
One and 2 to count. And Fox lays off and takes low.
Boy, they have a pretty good road record. Tampa Bay, 29-15. Which, if you look at all the other teams in baseball, is the best road record.
Tampa Bay continues to have the best pitching in the league, and that's how they win. They score enough, but they win with pitching. 3.62, the best ERA in the league.
Yeah, and then every once in a while they came back after losing Friday night, beat the Yankees 10-5 yesterday. Beat Brimyak, hit a couple of home runs.
Fouled off.
They have a nice blend of speed. They have a couple of guys, whether it's Pena with a lot of home runs but low average. Bartlett's not having a particularly good year, but they can beat you defensively. They can steal a lot of bases. They can hit the home run on a regular basis, and then the bullpen has been very good. Soriano is really, that trade where they went out and got Rafael Soriano made a big difference back into the bullpen.
Another 2-2 to Fox, and he got him. So Jake Fox not only 0 for 3, he has struck out all 3 at bats. Orioles strand another. 6th inning coming up. Toronto has the lead. Experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive one. Well, what do you do on a hot summer day in the Inner Harbor? You go down to the pool barge. That looks like fun. A pool on a barge in the harbor.
Where is that?
It's in the Inner Harbor.
In the Inner?
Yeah.
Really? Is it on the lake?
I know you and I ought to go down there.
I live in the burbs. You live in the burbs. I live in the city. So
right.
Maybe it's on the way home.
There you go. You should put on your trunks and go over there and dive in the pool.
Yeah, that'd be frightening. You probably have a pool, don't you?
At the house, yeah.
Must be nice.
Here's Vernon Wells. Well, there's the in-game box score. Thank you, Don.
Well, there you go. The big hit, of course, Escobar's grand slam, because it kind of turns the game around. But Aaron Hill, what an 0 for. That's about it, though. They've done a nice job of hitting pitches that were hittable.
Hendrickson stays on. He's doing a real good job here. He's got 3 1/3 in relief of Ryan Mattis. If you want, you could come for a swim later. Whip up something for dinner for you.
Gravy?
Well, that takes 3 hours. I can't do that on short notice.
For those of you listening at home, that's like marinara sauce or something like that.
There's the 1-2. And he got it. Good changeup.
Yeah, enough pitches in and out off the play to eventually get to that good changeup. And, again, 6'9", good angle to home plate. Not a hard thrower, but perfectly placed down and away. And Mark Hendricks is 36. Great view right there in slow motion of what you try to do to hitters, get them out in front. He was able to do that.
Adam Lind now takes ball 1. Here's Frank Mata, who has been the forgotten man in the bullpen. beginning to get loose. And Hendrickson misses low. 2-0 on Adam Lind, who has an RBI on a ground out, also has a single and a run scored. Now has an 11-game hitting streak. Good off-speed pitch, wow. The Blue Jays are on the move after the game. They head to Kansas City. And then from there to Detroit. So they're on a 10-game road trip to begin the second half.
How about the Tigers getting swept by Cleveland yesterday?
Bouncer to second. Moore plays the hop. They get it to first. 2 down in the Blue Jays 6th. Bullpen activity as Brian Talek gets loose. No need to overextend the starter.
Yeah, especially coming off the DL, coming off Tommy John about a year and a half ago.
Aaron Hill takes ball 1. Blue Jays have out hit the Orioles only by 2, 11-9, but they have an 8-run lead. Hendrickson has struck out 4. He has not walked a batter. He has hit 1. And he has allowed 3 runs. Toronto has scored a run in each of his complete innings. He did get the final out of the second. Jays have scored in 4 of their 5 at-bats here in the 6th inning with 2 out and nobody on. Another good off-speed pitch. How many 73-mile-an-hour curveballs you think Aaron Hill regularly sees?
Well, no, I mean that is pitching. About a 15-mile-per-hour difference between the fastball and the curveball.
High fly ball to left. DA has a play backing up, and he will make the catch. And the first 3-up, 3-down inning of the game. Well, there's what Jim Palmer's saying after the game. Everybody in the pool. By Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, celebrate the world we share. On this Sunday afternoon, we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. A 9-1 lead for Toronto on 11 base hits. And the day is done for Sean Markham. Here's the left-hander, Brian Talek.
Yeah, out of Louisiana State, LSU. And actually, he's gotten lefties out very well. They're only .758. Struggled against righties last year. Actually had 25 starts. So recent history. You know, he's gotten lefties out, 8 earned runs over his last 6 innings pitched. And he's also walked 10 batters over his last 4 games. So if you saw last night's game where the closer came in and walked the bases loaded with a 1-run lead, I don't don't know if Cito's going to like any base on balls. But again, you have 8 runs to work with for Brian Talent.
Markham did not walk a batter in his 5 innings of work. He did allow at least 1 hit in each of the 5 innings, but only the 1 run.
What's the term? Scattered? Scattered on the 9 hits. And got them out 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. So a lot of base hits. They struck out Jake Fox 3 times and got the hot out with runners in scoring position when it looked like the Orioles might be able to get back into the game.
Scott Moore takes ball 2. Bell on deck, then is Turris. And it's high ball 3.
Well, you take a couple of strikes and make him throw the ball over, which is always difficult when you've run the count to 3-0. At least I found that. There's a tendency to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to get it over, and then you aim it a little bit. There it is, ball 4.
And the first walk allowed by Toronto in the game comes to the first batter Brian Talent faces. There's Josh Bell, and he'll bat right-handed. He's coming up to the Orioles when he has played. It has been against right-handed starters, so this will be his first at-bat right-handed. He takes a strike. Bell 1 out of 2. He singled the center field his last at-bat. Bell hits it to third, fielded there by Encarnacion. The second one, Hill back to first. There's a double play, 5-4-3 around the horn. That erases the walk and 2 men down. First double play turned by the Jays in this game.
Yeah, hit sharply, but right at Encarnacion, and pretty conventional 5-4-3. That batting average creeping up for Cesar up into the 250 range.
He's 4 for 9 in the series now. He's had a very streaky year. He's had 6, 7, 8 games where base hits have been tough to come by, and then he'll go on one of these surges. There's a foul ball, 1-1 the count. Well, Jim talked about the Orioles' record scoring 3 runs or less, just 2-47. Here's how the rest of the division stacks up, and as you would expect, they don't win as often, but the difference is 49 times the Orioles have scored 3 runs or less, a big difference in the number of games by their division opponents.
Well, yeah, and it's almost kind of the way, I mean, the Red Sox, the Yankees hardly do it. Their record's the best. They're in first place. Tampa Bay, again, you can see how difficult. You know, the Red Sox, of course, they, number 1 in offense. I mean, they lead the American League in runs scored. So, again, it's just the 49 times the Orioles have done that.
Turris fouls it off to stay alive.
And I think it would be fair to say that this offense would have been a lot better if you had Brian Roberts and PA early on, because I just think it makes everybody a better hitter when you have a leadoff guy, especially a dynamic leadoff hitter like Brian Roberts.
And as Turris pops it back, well, Juan Samuel anticipates Brian being back soon. How soon? It depends on who you talk to. If you talk to Brian, it's Wednesday. If you talk to Samuel, it might be the next road trip.
Yeah, I think the other part of struggling for runs sometimes is just, do you have hitters that are streak hitters? And the Orioles, you have a young hitter in Wieters. You have Luke Scott, who can be as hot can be, and then he can get real cold. And we've seen that. Wigington, of course, really good. Even Adam Jones, in his 3rd full major league year, great in June with the 8 home runs. Been hitting very well as of late.
Swept towards third. Encarnacion charges and fires across to get his Turris, and the inning ends. Leadoff walk, none left. We'll head to the 7th. 9-1 Toronto. rethink possible. So we go from the pool barge to the beach volleyball game. So why don't we do that? Let's go play some volleyball.
No.
Really work up a nice sweat, and then we'll go to the pool barge.
We can just go down on the field and do that.
Yeah, but volleyball's fun.
Yeah, but volleyball's supposed to be played on the beach in Santa Monica.
We're 3,000 miles away from
that, where you go dive in the ocean, take a shower, go do that.
Let's head over to Ocean City after the game.
Well, that's another thing. Frank Mata on the pitch. So an opportunity. You talked about the fact that eventually maybe they won't go with an 8-man bullpen. But 9 earned runs in his last 3 outings, and it's about a relatively young guy in his mid-20s that's still trying to figure out, because he's got good stuff, how to command it here at the major league level. You just can't get away, falling off and throwing ball 1 and getting into hitters' counts. But when he can stay pretty square north and south, he's got good stuff. He's got a good slider. He just saw a great sinker. 93. He'll usually hit somewhere around 95, 96. But again, somebody's got to be able to, or he's got to be able to figure out what you need to do to be successful. There's another one. Again, it's a boring fastball. When he follows through, it's got great late life. That should allow him, if he can do that more often than not, to be effective up here. And right now, again, Lyle Overbay, he doesn't really know Mata that well. Throw something out of the strike zone. And he did.
He got him. And Mata last pitched last Friday in Texas. This is only his 2nd game appearance in the last 11 games.
And that is difficult to stay sharp. But on the other hand, you're going to have to figure it out, because whether you're the 8th guy or maybe the 5th or 6th, you got to get yourself in a conditioning program, a throwing program, go out there, do your little side work to work on your windup. Because again, when he falls off, he's not effective. When he stays through the hitter, throws the ball to the catcher, he's good.
John Buck takes ball 1. Productive afternoon. It's outside. You look at free agent signings, and we tend to look at the big stars when they change teams. But this was a real good signing by the Jays, because they felt they needed to upgrade at the position, and they were able to get it done after Buck proved that he was a frontline catcher in Kansas City.
Yeah, he had a year where he had 18 home runs. He had some back problems, so he was hurt. But you look last year, Rod Barajas, he was their catcher. He had 19 home runs. Either he doesn't sign, maybe you're trying to, the arbitration numbers might have been a little bit high. You can go out and get Buck. You know what you're getting. You get a conscientious veteran player. And then you want somebody with a young pitching staff that's going to be able to take them under tow and move them along. They have some good young starters.
Fastball misses outside, ball 3.
Romero won 13 games in his first year. That was last year. We saw Morrow last night, power on. Brett Cecil, he's having a nice year. Well, I got a scouting report the other day from a friend of mine who's a scout. He said, would die if I could be able to get Brett Cecil, because the ceiling's so high. Saw Markham today, pitcher.
3-2 swung on and missed. Fox will have to play it to first. So back-to-back strikeouts and 2 now. Well, the Orioles still trying to get a win against the Jays. Here's the head-to-head coming into the game today in the comparison.
Well, they've really dominated it, and you can see why, especially when you throw in the one-run games. Toronto not that good in one-run games, 12 and 18, but they won a one-run game last night. But the batting average, the home runs, the ERA, everything. And again, they outscored the Orioles in those 9 games by 23 runs.
Fastball's too tight, 1-0. Hard hit ball towards the holders, a base hit for Encarnacion. He's got a 2-hit game.
Well, he sits dead red, and when you get behind him, and either you don't make a good pitch with your breaking ball, or you throw him a fastball, he's ready. It's no mystery about what he's trying to do. He is not trying to hit soft singles the other way. In fact, not too many guys on this team have that kind of approach.
Fred Lewis has been on base 3 times in this game. There's a chopper back to the mound. Mata has it, takes his time and gets it over just in time as Fred Lewis trying to leg it out. So a base hit and 1 left. 7th inning stretch here at Camden Yards as the Blue Jays have a 9-1 lead.
Ask that you please rise and join Chelsea Hurd singing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
And then the fateful 6th inning grand slam by Yunel Escobar, and the hitting has not stopped. 6 runs in the 2nd, runs in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So again, they come in as a very good home running hitting contest team. They do it again, and again, you know, Mattis, shortest start of his career. Markakis 3 for 3. Escobar, first career grand slam, the young player they got out of the Braves organization, and he's had 3 really good games, and he's really showcased all his talents: defense, hitting, bunting, you name it.
PA will lead all 4 of the Birds, top of the lineup against Talent, who's on for his 2nd inning of work. Phillips PA is always happy. He's always smiling. I like to see that.
It's in the big leagues. It's a lot to do with it. He's healthy for the moment, hopefully. Hopefully he will stay there. You know, a classic example of kind of reminds me when Adam Lowen signed here. You know, huge signing bonus, and never could stay healthy to get his innings. So if you're a pitcher, you need to get your innings at the minor league level to be able to figure out what you need to do to throw strikes, command your stuff. And if you're a hitter, boy, you got to get the at-bats. And to get the at-bats at this level, and he's going to get them here, stay healthy. You know, work on your base running. You saw that in spring training.
Curveball hit the second base. Hill gets an in-between hop. He'll get PA. And one away, the Orioles 7th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Here's Miguel Tejada. Singled and scored in the first, has since flied out to center and flied out to left. High fly ball slicing down the right field line. Bautista over, and he runs out of room. Just does make the grandstand.
Well, you've seen this team. Cito Gaston going to leave after this year, but he's got him playing hard. You saw Fred Lewis with an 8-run lead. I mean, beat it down the base bags, almost beat it out, made a routine play very close. Bautista there. And they're doing what they probably anticipated. Came in here and trying to get it done.
Bautista in on the ball. Tejada's out, 2 men down. I think the one thing that Cito brought back to the job after he returned as the manager is he brought that team concept back, and he does things to win today. And last night we saw it. His closer didn't have a good night. He walked the bases loaded, protecting a 1-run lead, so he removed the closer. A lot of managers wouldn't do that, but for Cito, it was the move to make, and they won the game.
And again, past history has a lot to do with how you manage. And Kevin Gregg, Jerry Howarth, who does the radio, said, well, he walked 5 in 1 inning. So it's not like Cito hadn't seen this before. And it's nothing against Kevin Gregg. You know, if you're a manager and you go out to get your closer, you want him to be upset that he has to leave. And they had a meeting. I think soothed it out. And I think Kevin Gregg said it best. He said, listen, I didn't want to leave. I did leave. It's his prerogative. And Sean Kemp, and this is the team concept, Sean Kemp came in and got the out. And it was a big out. He got his first save in since like 2006. First save of the year, too.
Well, that style, if you will, is what will ultimately gain you the respect of your team, is that it's all about winning. You talked earlier about effort. Players control that. Manager sets the tone.
Well, I think managers, somewhat, they control the effort, what the work ethic is. That has a lot to do with it because, again, and that's an organizational thing. You know, Sam Walt, Juan knows all of this stuff.
Let's go, Cakes.
Again, I think he's done a good job. He's gotten the team to play hard. I mean, this was supposed to be a rebuilding year for the Blue Jays. You trade Roy Halladay, your 17-game winner. But now you get guys like Martin coming off the Tommy John. You get young pitchers. You got some position players. Wells is signed through 2014. You know, Lynn last year 35 home runs. He's struggling a little bit more this year, so he's going to get his feet under. They have, and they got some good young players. Brett Wallace, part of that deal. There's your blown away strike. So Markakis finally out for the first time.
So Nick strikes out, called out, 3 up, 3 down go the Birds. We'll head to the 8th, 9-1 Jays. TNT player of the game. Here are the candidates. Yunel Escobar, all he's done is hit a grand slam and drive in 5. Or how about Sean Markham? 5 solid innings, just 1 run allowed. Or Nick Markakis, who has a 3-hit game, including a couple of doubles. Text in your vote now and have your voice heard, A, B, or C, to 51862. Frank Mata stays on, and it's a fastball by the swing of Escobar. The grand slam by Escobar is the only home run in the game by the Jays, but he drove it 4 with 1 swing. 25 home runs in the last 11 games.
That's what they do.
Tapper back to the mound. Mata has it. And he'll get it to first, 1 down in the 8th inning.
Yeah, another good pitch. I mean, for Frank Mata, again, if his mechanics are good, his stuff is good enough, it allows him to be able to compete at this level. It's as simple as that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to figure out the hitters, but when you can throw in the mid-90s with sink, you're going to get a lot of hitters out. And for him, it's a little bit like Alfredo Simon, who's become this closer. You got to figure out, how do I do that? Because both of their stuff's good. Maybe Simon throws a little bit harder, and it's got a better splitter. But throw it for the middle of the plate. It's not going to go there.
Bautista grounds it to third. And Josh Bell gets it across off the bag, but Wigginton with the tag with 2 men down.
And what a pleasure it is to play behind somebody that throws first pitch strikes with good movement. You know, Bautista's leading the league in home runs, and you know he gets a fastball. But again, the movement of the fastball. And here's Josh Bell. Again, strong arm, a little bit inaccurate, tails. You know, just like pitching, you got to find that release point. And nice play by Ty Wigginton.
Ow!
Yeah. That's what happens when you lift weights.
My grandmother.
Here's Vernon Wells, and he takes high 1-0. Casey Jansen begins to get loose. Talent has pitched 2 innings of relief. There's a bouncer towards the middle. As Torres to his left has it from back of the bag. He throws, and just in time to get Vernon Wells, who thought he had beaten him out. So 3 up, 3 down. Go the Jays in the 8th. Good inning for Frank Mata as Torres gets it across, and Vernon Wells denied. By your local Ford dealer, and then game coverage at 7 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on Masson. And the Rays come to town in a race, and there are the numbers on Tampa Bay. They began the day 2 games back of the Yankees for the division lead.
Yeah, very much in contention. I think most people think with all the injuries, the Red Sox at one point had 11 guys on the disabled list. Even though they are hanging in there, Euclid was a big double, in fact, a couple of hits last night to win, but you can do a lot of things. And most people think at the moment, unless the Red Sox get healthy, that they may be at least the second best team in the American League East. Ultimately, they may end up being the best. Who knows?
Tampa Bay trails at New York 8-3 in the 7th this afternoon. There's Casey Janssen coming on.
Yeah, another great story. Markham with a Tommy John in 2008, labrum tear for Casey Janssen, and he was 3-0 on the 11th of April.
Slow ground ball off the bat of Wigginton. Escobar has it and gets it across. One pitch, one down to the Oriole 8th. Wigginton 0 for 4.
And another breaking ball. Just chases it. It's hard. Again, we talked so much about having the big inning in today if you're Brian Mattis, because it puts the other team at a distinct advantage. Right here, if you're in with 2 or 3, maybe you don't swing at the first pitch. Maybe you are a little more selective. Down by 8, it's not like you want to get it over with, but I think it's just harder to focus. That's just reality.
Here's Adam Jones as the lone RBI for the Birds, a 2-out RBI single in the first. And he takes a strike. Markham went 5, 1 run on 9 hits. Talent 2 scoreless innings, and now Jansen.
Yeah, last year, of course, rehabbing, he's with the Gulf Coast Blue Jays, Dunedin in the Florida State League, New Hampshire in the Eastern League, and then AAA, and then eventually the big leagues. That's what you sometimes have to do when you're going through rehab. And then back this year, and he's been very good as of late for him. A lot of movement with his pitches. 1 earned run last 13 in the 3rd innings.
They have real balance in their bullpen. As Jones pokes it to right. Bautista on, won't get it, falls in for a base hit. Adam Jones has a 2-hit afternoon. He's on with 1 down in the 8th. You can find the latest gear at the official online shop of the Orioles. Browse the largest online selection of official caps, T-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more for the entire family. Shop from the comfort of your home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So get your gear from the official source, theorioles.com shop.
So Jonesy now 3 for his last 7. Single last night, couple of hits tonight. One, as you mentioned, for the RBI. Made a nice swing right there on a slider, going away from him. Try to pull that ball. It's a ground ball to shortstop. So nice hitting approach, even though you're down by 8.
Big Fox takes ball 1. He is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Does not want to get the golden sombrero.
No. Well, I remember when I played Little League in Beverly Hills, they had a kid, Tim English, to strike out 18 in a row unless you bunt. I just bunt to put it in play. I didn't want him striking out every time. Timmy English.
What's Timmy doing now?
I don't know.
You gotta look him up. Have your people
Google him?
Yeah. You got people. Find anybody.
Yeah, the minute we went to Pony League, where you go from 40, now it's 46 feet. I think it's 45 feet down in the Little League. Back in the day. When he went to Pony League, he struggled. He had that good breaking ball.
2-1 is foul back. Is that when you zoomed past him as a prospect?
Yes, I did, as a matter of fact.
Well, Timmy English saw his career fade before his eyes as young Jim Palmer.
Well, as Keith Jackson would say, he flat fogged it by us. And he did.
Did you have that big leg kick even back then?
I can't really remember. There's no film. We didn't have film back then.
Fox to right, Bautista battling the sun, and he angles it to the left of his body. Nicely done, and 2 men out.
What I remember, though, is me at Roxbury Park looking in and somebody taking a picture with my Converse tennis shoes on, my high tops, because when I was 12, my feet were so big I couldn't wear the rubber spikes. They didn't make me. Were like a size 13 foot when I was 12.
Man.
And so I'm looking in, Marty Neslick, my shortstop's in the background, little guy. And there I am. My arms are almost hanging on the ground, like Ferguson Jenkins.
So what are you telling me? You were an awkward-looking child? Is that it?
I was gangly. I was not awkward. I was not awkward. Gangly.
A gangly Jim Palmer. I was growing up in the plains of Arizona, or was that Beverly Hills?
That was Beverly Hills.
The plains of Southern California. It's got more. It's
not a bad place to, it's not a bad place to grow up.
Oh, I would guess not.
We'll take the
I
bus
didn't
down
have
to
that
the beach.
opportunity.
Quarter, get on the bus, Wilshire Boulevard, all the way to the beach in Santa Monica.
Hang out on the pier. Moore bounces at the second base. Hill backs up to play the hop. He'll get it to first. Inning ends. 1-out single. And a man left. We'll head to the ninth at Camden Yards. Toronto enjoying a 9-1 lead. West Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by the Mitsubishi Lancer. It was a good day to be on the water, or in the water, or near the water,
Under the water.
First ball swinging is Adam Lind. He hits it to Wigginton, who goes to the base unassisted. One pitch and one down in the ninth inning as Frank Mata stays on.
Well, what you like is the last, again, we talked about good moving fastball, last 4 outs on the ground. Now, I suppose you could say, well, it's 9-1 and they're swinging the first pitch, but I'm looking at not only the end result, but how he's throwing the ball. Again, a live arm when his mechanics are good allows him to throw strikes and quality strikes.
Here's Aaron Hill, who has walked and scored. He's 0 for 3 in his other at-bats. Bouncer to third. Josh Bell near the line plays the hop. And the throw across in time.
Yeah, he's got a strong arm.
2 pitches, 2 down.
Yep. David Percy, last year a starter. This year out of the bullpen for him. Big left-hander. He's going to get ready in a hurry. They're not wasting a lot of time. Mata's throwing strikes and they're swinging.
While Overbay 1 out of 4 with a double and a run scored. He first ball swings and hits it toward the gap in right center field. Markakis over to cut it off. Nicely done. So that's a long single for Overbay, who's got a 2-hit game. Mata working his 3rd inning, which is important. Looking ahead to Tampa Bay coming in tomorrow. Mark Hendrickson went 4 1/3. He really did a great job, and Mata 3 innings. So the rest of the bullpen not only rested, not even been up getting loose.
Yeah, you want the back end, and you hope that Chris Tillman will pitch like he did down in Texas, where he used the cutter. Very effective. He gave up the 1 run. So Tillman and Wade Davis. Davis at 6 and 9 this year.
Flush to left field. That's over the head of PA. He plays the carom off the wall and fires back in. Hitting his second is John Buck, and he slides in safely with a double. So after 2 outs and nobody on, back-to-back hits. And each hitter in this inning going after the first pitch.
Yeah, right down the middle, and then he just smokes it over Felix Pia's head. There's a veteran not giving away any at bats, even though the score is 9-1.
John Buck's got a 3-for-5 game with a couple of doubles, a couple of RBIs, and here is Edwin Encarnacion, who has 2 hits. And he swings through it. So somebody on the Jays bench say, hey, this guy's throwing first pitch fastballs. It's 5 consecutive first pitch swings.
Well, they do swing. I mean, you know, the on-base percentage, we told you, is 14th. I mean, they're up there to hack. But part of it is having a plan. Are you getting pitches that you can hit? I mean, they swing through a lot of pitches. Obviously, you know, we've seen the whole plan this weekend with Edwin and Encarnacion is that to try to get him out with breaking balls. And the good ones have gotten him out. He's a high ball hitter, preferably a fastball. And that's why the first 2 pitches were sliders.
Here's the 1-1. Hit towards third. Josh Bell has it. He gets up and fires across high and off the bases. Wigginton, and a run scores. Bell's throws have been sailing in this game, and that one did elude Wigginton as he had to leave the base to glove it and could not come down in the base.
Well, terrific play right there to get to it. Again, and the important thing is fast feet. Are you under control? Are your feet underneath you? So right here, and Earl Weaver used to always say, make the play, don't hurry. And again, if you don't hurry, maybe the throw's a little bit better. And of course, again, this is something he will learn with experience. But he showed you range, and he does have a strong arm.
Back to the top of the lineup. That has been ruled a base hit because of the diving attempt at the front end of that play.
It wasn't your routine major league play, and that's usually how they will dictate whether it's an error. Well, probably next year, in the years to come, that will be an out because of the agility and the fact that he just has the experience. And
Lewis takes low ball 2, so another run in. That's an RBI hit for Encarnacion, who was 0 for 2 and now has singled in 3 consecutive at-bats. Jays have a 10-1 lead. Counts to a shortstop as Torres plays the hop. He'll go to first in time to get Lewis, and the inning ends. The Jays tack on another on 3 hits in strand 2. Bottom of the 9th coming up. 10-1 Toronto.
He did another game, not an ugly one at that. 1.2 innings and 6 runs. A grand slam just buried him early on in the ball game. The Orioles had to depend on their bullpen the rest of the way, and it didn't get a whole lot better.
The Orioles' only run scored in the first inning. We'll come back, take a look at some of the highlights of the game and review what this 3-game homestand has been like for the Orioles. Let's go back now to Jim Hunter and Jim Paul.
All right, Tom, thanks very much as we head to the bottom of the 9th. And the Jays have made another change on the mound. So lefty David Percy, Jim, comes on. Jansen goes an inning, 1 hit.
Yeah, last year a starter. He turned 28 back in April. So, 1-3 last year, 9 starts. Real good at AAA Las Vegas. First round guy back in 2004. So they move him to the bullpen, and he's done a nice job. Lefty's hitting 200, righty's under 200 at 171. And the opposition only 11 for 61. And his first appearance back on the 25th of May ever out of the bullpen.
Defensive change as well, Jim, as Dwayne Wise takes over for Vernon Wells for the final inning.
Yeah, he's the guy you want if you have a perfect game in the late innings. He's the one that on Burley's perfect game last year made the great play in April against Tampa Bay. One of the better plays ever made out at left center field in Chicago.
So Percy will go to work on Josh Bell as Turris, and PA will follow.
So he hasn't pitched since and that was up in the Red Sox series right before. Hasn't pitched since the 11th of July. It's been about a week.
Josh Bell is 1 out of 3. He grounded into a double play his last at bat, his first at bat right-handed as an Oriole. The single came against the starter Markham in the 4th inning. Strike 1 in the inside corner. Ten runs on 15 hits for Toronto. The Orioles have 1 run on 10 hits. Nine men left on base in this game by the Orioles. So the Orioles ended the first half feeling really good about things with that 4-game sweep in Texas against the first-place team. Juan Samuel was very hopeful that would carry over. The Blue Jays are 3 outs away from completing a 3-game sweep.
Well, they competed really well in the first 2 games. I mean, they were a hit away from possibly winning both of the first 2 games. They got real good starting pitching last night. Friday wasn't horrible. Brad Ferguson gave up the 4 runs, 3 of them early. Bullpen was good with the Burkhead exception. He's been terrific this year. Today, it's a classic situation. And not to point fingers, it's just as a starter, you find out that you have to, as we look at Jason Burkhead, an outstanding first half, you just have to make your guys think they have a chance to win. Brian Matusz wasn't able to do that today. You know, most of the time he does, even though the record not where he is.
Well, Josh Bell with an authoritative swing up the middle. He's got a base hit. It's a multi-hit game.
Well, what he did is he ran the count back into his favor. You know, 0-2, couldn't get the breaking ball over. Now it's 3-2. You got a 9-run lead. Don't want to walk him. He elevates the ball and he singles into center.
So his first base hit, batting right-handed.
All singles to this point in his career, which really doesn't matter. Hit's a hit.
Cesar Turris. The Orioles now have 4 of their 9 hitters in this game have multi-hit games, and they're trailing 10-1.
Well, the inability to hit with runners in scoring position. Does that get you 10 runs? Probably not.
There's another base hit for Cesar Turris as he loops it in there in front of Dwayne Wise. Back-to-back singles to begin the 9th inning. I'm sure Cito Gaston will have a long leash here for Percy with a 9-run lead, but you know the last thing he wants to do in this kind of a game is get another reliever up. Percy's already the 3rd to come on.
Well, it's about making, whether you're ahead 10-1 or down 10-1, it's about making quality pitches. And Cito knows that. You know, to me, he's the perfect guy to play for. You know, he was very much like Juan Samuel, and actually Juan Samuel played for Cito. You know, they're both former players. They were both very good at what they did. And they do have a long leash because they played the game. You can't always do what you want to do. But show me, as Earl Weaver used to say, show me that, you know, if you're up in the strike zone, Earl used to say bounce ball. Of course, I would say, wow, that's a ball too. But show me I'm trying to get the ball down. And again, it's sometimes hard to do when you have pitched in a week.
Now, this is a spot where I would love to see PA bunt. Just push it towards 3rd base.
I'd like to have him take it.
Take?
I want him taking it. And he was. Yeah, I would like to think that Cesar Turris, Felix PA, Corey Patterson, who we've seen do it all year long, would part of their preparation for playing would be bunting. because it makes them better hitters. And it makes it, as somebody who pitched for 20 years, it makes it harder to get them out. It gives them another dimension.
How about the mask of John Buck, the catcher?
I mean, if I'm facing a tough lefty and I'm Felix, I want to play him in, especially until they get the 2 strikes. The reason I want that, of course, is to hit it by him.
But as deep as Encarnacion is at third with 1 strike, just push a bunt to third, and all of a sudden you got the bases loaded.
Well, again,
you need base runners.
I agree with you 100% in the sense. I just want to know that if I was managing this club, they can do it, because there are going to be times when you need that, and they give you a base hit. Can you take it?
He fouls off the slow curveball.
I mean, we see Gerald Laird every year drop some bunts down as a catcher, supposedly slow third, but they play him back and takes the bunt. Adam Jones, of course, he's been able to do that. It's all part of just playing the game to be the best player you can be again. To reiterate what I said earlier.
One and 2 on PA, 2 on and none down. And he got it. PA down on strikes. There's the first out of the 9th inning.
Now, we saw David Percy last year, and he just throws that fastball up, almost close to the mid-90s. Good pitch up and away on the corner. He's also one of those left-handers. This won't be the case now, but Tejada stepping in. But he's also one of those guys that stands way on the first base side of the rubber and steps a little bit across his body. So there's some deception there.
Miguel Tejada now 2 on and 1 out. And it's high, 1-0. Miguel has a 1-for-4 day. The single came in his first at-bat, and he scored the Orioles' run in the first inning, which at the time gave him a 1-0 lead. Takes high ball 2. Miguel now has a 7-game hitting streak with his base hit today. Fouls it back. 2-1 the count. Percy is the 4th pitcher used by the Jays in this game. And 2-1 on Miguel. He fouls it back. 2-2. Here's an update on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. And Nick Markakis getting that hometown vote, 80%. Escobar 10, Markham 10. Still tying the vote. Have your voice heard. AB or C to 51862. Tom and Rick have the results coming up on O's Extra Post Game. 2-2 on Miguel. Well, 27 hits combined in this game. Lucas waiting on deck as the Orioles Percy work here. 2 on and 1 out in the 9th. Slices it down the right field line. A long run for Bautista, but he gets there in fair territory. Bell tags and goes from 2nd to 3rd, and now 2 men are down.
Yeah, you look at David Percy, and if you weren't going to really look other than his size and mannerism, he reminds you of Mr. Lester, John Lester of the Red Sox. You mentioned last year early starts with Toronto, and he went down to AAA. He dominated left-handers at AAA, and that's probably why the numbers support this, is why they've used him in the bullpen to get lefties out. And he will get or try to get out some. We get hits lefties about as well as anybody. Came in hitting .363 off left-handed pitching.
Well, 2 down. Here's Markakis, who has a 3-hit game. As Torres took off, he gets down to second base as he wasn't being held. Not be still at base. Markakis, his team leading 32nd multi-hit game. Slices a foul. He had a 3-hit game in Detroit in the middle game, a 3-hit game at Boston, so a couple of 3-hit games on that road trip just concluded prior to the All-Star break.
And as we mentioned in the open, he started driving the ball. Coming into this series, it hit 3 home runs in his last 55 at-bats. After going about 280-some at-bats with only 3 home runs.
Fouls back the 1-1 pitch. Second and third. Bell the lead runner. Is Torres the trail runner with 2 men down. Saying, well, it's been a long day for the skipper. Kickers take side 2-2. You don't like to see crooked number innings in any game, in particular when it's a 6-run inning. Change the game around in the second inning. Two and two with 2 men down. Markakis skies it to left. In on the ball is Fred Lewis. And he makes the catch, and the Blue Jays have completed the 3-game sweep. Orioles get 2 hits in strand 2 in the 9th inning. So the Blue Jays complete the sweep, winning it today by a final of 10-1. We invite you to join us again tomorrow. More O's action. Game 1 against the Rays. O's Extra presented by your local Ford dealer gets it started at 6:30 on Masson 2 HD, followed by game coverage at 7 o'clock. And now for Jim Palmer and Amber Theo Harris and our entire crew, Jim Hunter saying so long from Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Once again, our final score, Jays complete the sweep, winning it today by a final of 10-1. Today's telecast, a Masson presentation. Now it's O's Extra, Tom Davis and Rick Dempsey as the Blue Jays complete the sweep.